Like, you want to know what okay, so here's what I thought of. What up, people? Welcome to Hip Hop Talk. Hold on. Sorry, I'm watching our own show.
Kick the DJ out of the booth.
You know what? Speaking of which, I do want to talk about that right quick. Like, the DJs down here just kind of like killed Memorial Day weekend a couple weeks ago. Like, you know, Atlanta, I mean, and there are always places people go for Memorial Day weekend. Like, people go to Vegas, they go to Houston, they go to Miami, they go to DC. But Atlanta was dry for Atlanta standards for Memorial Day weekend. And it's these DJs and promoters. I'm so sick of these fucking DJs and promoters down here. I'm not talking about all of them, but these dudes down here, like, they're putting the money in their pocket instead of paying the artists to drive the business, to drive the venues, to drive the city. You know what I'm saying? And that's so crazy. So, you know, we're still having all these events and these festivities, but there's no artists. Like, all the Atlanta artists and the artists that live in Atlanta and record in Atlanta, they were all Houston and Miami for Memorial Day.
That's crazy. That says a lot for Atlanta, man. That says a lot for Atlanta.
Right. This is no lie. Me and my man Sherm literally drove through Buckhead in 15 minutes on Memorial Day. Like, drove through Buckhead, was like looking around, looking for the action, and was able to drive through. The streets were so dry.
That is crazy.
Yeah, wow. I ain't never, like, the last time that literally I was able to drive through Buckhead, like, in 15 minutes, like, I wasn't able to drive. It was like 1989. I was in the backseat of the fucking car with, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, so the DJs and promoters in Atlanta need to do a better job. But that's how my week was. Other than that, it was work. I'd like to thank my daughter's new college for slapping me in the face with a housing deposit. Even though she's received, you know, all the financial things she needs, they still told me, no, you're going to pay that shit. And so daughter starts class Monday. That's it. AG, what's your week look like?
Man, real similar. You know what I'm saying? My son got accepted into college, but he don't start till early August. You know, had a lot to do this week. My daughter was finishing up middle school, so she'll be starting high school. Award ceremonies going on. And proud moment as a father, my son graduated from high school. And it was a dope experience, man, but it was a crazy stain on the day, man. Like, I be telling y'all about West Virginia stories, but y'all be acting like I be capping. It's just always some wild shit going down, man. I keep trying to tell y'all. So we've actually made the national news, man, because of my son's graduation, man. So it was a brawl of like 10 to 12 people outside of the Armory arena where the festivities was being held. So, you know, and I sent Sean the footage, so he you know what I'm saying, got to see the video of it. Video evidence.
10 to 12 people. Did you say 10 to 12 people?
Yes.
Well, no wonder it made the news. That's 1/10 of the population. If 1/10 of the population anywhere
Yo, I'm telling you, man, the YNs were YNing and parents were wilding out. Man, it was
graduation.
Bro, all right. So graduation had ended, and you know, my son was down on the floor of the arena, you know what I'm saying, talking to his friends, and we were going to take pictures afterwards. So I'll go down there to take pictures, you know, get flicks with him and his friends, you know, and his mother was outside, and you know, me and my daughter, my girl, was, you know, taking pictures with my son, and his mother, you know what I'm saying, knew she was gonna take pictures of him. So she was like, yo, where y'all at? I'm standing outside. And we taking pictures down on the floor of the arena. We're like, where are you at? And she was like, you know, well, I thought we was taking the pictures outside. And I was like, nah, we taking them in here. She was like, all right, bet, I'm gonna come in there. And then she's like, oh shit, I gotta go, they fighting. And I was like, fighting. I was like, what's she talking about? So like, I just disregarded it, and we're taking flicks, and then she come in like, yo, the cops is coming. It's like a brawl outside. I'm like, yeah, right. And she was like, nah, serious. And by the time 5 minutes later, one of my son's friends like sent him the footage on Snapchat, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like a graduate in the gown brawling, you know what I'm saying? Probably gonna get tried as an adult if he's 18, parents, like older cats, younger cats, YNs, everybody. It was maybe about 10 to 15 people. About 4 or 5 cop cars came up, made arrests, you know what I'm saying? And that was that. That was the talk of the graduation. It was wild, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't saying that to like, you know, brag, but it's just crazy to put a damper on that moment. But you know, we can't have nothing, man. Like it's just, you know what I'm saying? Me and my son graduated from the high school, same high school, and it's called Woodrow, and the nickname for it is affectionately called Hoodrow. So, you know, but and I was just telling Sean the day before my graduation, you know what I'm saying, I got into a little kerfuffle and had a gun pulled on me. So it's like, you know what I'm saying, blessed to still be here. But it's just like, this is always something wild here, needless to say. But nonetheless, it was a proud moment as a father. And, you know, I'm very, very proud of my son. But
wow,
West Virginia is wild. So.
Okay.
So,
Beirut. Meanwhile, here in Marietta, Georgia, when my daughter graduated, you know, we took pictures outside Kennesaw State University, which is my alma mater, and then we went to dinner, like, you know,
and normal people,
like respectable people, like respectable ass people, like respectable.
We still went to dinner, we still partied and all that, but we had a little hiccup in our festivities. That's what that was.
Okay.
Did y'all go to Western Sizzler?
I don't, you know what?
West Virginia got Western Sizzler.
You know, but you know what I'm saying? Like, here's the crazy part. I don't know.
Do they still got the flank steak at the buffet? No. Okay.
But here's the crazy part. I don't even know what the fight was about. Like, somebody said somebody had a blicky on them, and then. But here's the crazy thing. I'm like, if one of the kids jumped it off, like, was it a situation like, well, I ain't gonna see this person no more, so we got to run this fade today. Like, we graduate, we up out of here. You know what I'm saying? So we got to run this fade today. I would rather get school suspension than to get tried as an adult. You know what I'm saying? In a fight, and you know what I'm saying, get like some jail time. So that's kind of wild.
I can't respect that gangster, because if I really want to see you outside, I'm gonna see you outside.
Yeah, I don't know what it was about, nor should I like really speak on that, because you know it's a lot of people involved. But at the same time, I just
yes. Well, what you need to tell those 10 to 12 people is that they are not helping y'all's economy, because now, you know, there are 10 to 12 more. Y'all got to work on the economy going. This shit is crazy. On to the bar seminar.
Well, I'm just glad y'all don't got to read about me on the news. I didn't have to drop nobody, so it's all good.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Let me share my week real quick. I want to apologize to Coop, actually.
I hope it's a little bit more peaceful.
It is very, very peaceful. Very peaceful. I'm with love, and I want to apologize to Coop. A few months ago, Coop had an opportunity to go to see one of his favorite artists of all time. He went to the what is it, the Never Everland branch or something like that, for Prince. Purple Land.
That's Michael Jackson.
Oh, my bad.
Paisley Park for Prince.
Yeah, Paisley Park.
Neverland's in California. Paisley Park.
He went to Paisley Park, and I didn't mean to mention the part of my jokes when I was saying you was wearing the assless chaps in your, on your flight. Right. But I understand now. I don't understand the assless chaps part, but I understand you grooving the Prince on the flight.
Okay, there were no assless chaps.
Oh, I thought you whatsoever. Oh, I thought it was a misunderstanding. Probably a misunderstanding. Oh, I was listening to Purple Rain this morning. I don't know why. I just woke up this morning like, man, I want to listen to some Purple Rain. And I was listening to Purple Rain. And I was listening to Beautiful Ones, to be specific. And I have a question for y'all.
Masterful piece of work.
Masterful. But I do have a question for both of you guys, because both of y'all were dirt bags growing up. And you got better. You got better as men. But who would you hold? What album? What song would you hold out of the two I'm about to mention? What would you hold as the Dirty Mac song of all time? Beautiful Ones or LL's Hey Lover?
LL Hey Lover.
I don't know, AG. What do you think, Coop?
First of all, if you would hear some of the women in Atlanta say it right now, I'm still a dirtbag. So
Yeah, I mean, I won't be surprised. I'll be like, really? That's not the Coop I know.
Take a current dirtbag vote on me, according to some people who might be watching. Don't give a fuck.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I would tell you the beautiful ones, but what I would tell you is actually the ultimate Mac song to me.
No, Dirty Mac. Dirty Mac. I'm talking about Dirty Mackin'.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking about Dirty Mackin'.
Yeah.
Listen, Cold Blooded by Rick James. Yeah. Cold Blooded by Rick James is my favorite.
Cold Blooded over Beautiful Ones and Hey Lover?
You can just like blindly pick any Joe song from any track list of his albums, and that's Dirty Mac top 10 right there.
I like my pimp hand to have a little funk to it. So give me Rick James Cold Blooded. Slight edge over Beautiful Ones. But that's only because, for a lot of people, the Beautiful Ones is the best song on Purple Rain to a lot of people.
Right.
And for me, it's still When Doves Cry, because When Doves Cry is still the greatest hook of all time, in my opinion.
Oh,
and
no doubt.
Depending on, so I'm not as high on the beautiful ones. Like I'm a big fan of the musicianship of Purple Rain, like the different guitar riffs on Computer Blue. To be honest with you, I like Darling Nikki more than the beautiful ones. That's some downright old dirty bastard nasty.
Yeah, Darling Nikki's crazy. But the thing, I might have to give it to Prince, because Prince could steal your girl while wearing like stiletto heels and like which is crazy, you know what I'm saying, and a blouse, you know what I'm saying, blouses and all that. But the reason why I said LL, because anybody else's Dirty Mac songs, right, they'll, you know what I'm saying, they'll rap to your lady or whatever, and they'll tell you what they can do that the man is not doing. LL says it like it's fact.
Who is the one that would say your man drank too much? He just smoked too many blunts. Well, I'm working out every day thinking about you. That's what people say. Yeah,
I think
LL when he says it, when he Dirty Max, it's like a dissertation.
I think I used that on an Asian girl once, actually.
Yeah, it sounds about right. It sounds about right.
That sounds right. You know what? It might be right. Still a dirtbag. Okay.
Still a dirtbag.
Oh well.
I had that question for you guys. Let's get to it. We have a quick super chat from Armand.
Peace. Master Killer just released Sleeper Album of the Year.
No,
okay.
He didn't, Armand. I'm sorry. He didn't. I love Master Killer, but he didn't.
He didn't.
I like the joint he put out with Snoop. That joint was pretty dope. With Snoop and Method Man. That single was pretty dope.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't go Sleeper Album of the Year though. And I'm a Woo fanatic. Sean got Woo on his chest and
Exhibit. I actually almost put my Woo shirt on today too. Exhibit has a Sleeper Album of the Year right now, in my opinion. Shit, he might have Album of the Year. Shit, Sleeper and Album of the Year. It's like winning most improved player and MVP or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So
yeah,
that's how that goes. All right, on to the bar seminar, gentlemen. You want to kind of keep us going, Sean? Share your bar seminar.
Yes. So my bar seminar is none other than Method Man. I haven't done a Method Man on bar seminar before, and I wanted to do it this time around because I feel that Meth has one of the dopest feature runs in hip hop history. Not just in hip hop, I'm talking about like in hip hop history. He has one of the best out there. And I wanted to do his verse on Cash Still Rules, Scary Hours joint with him and Raekwon and Ghost. Although I would say they were all neck and neck in their verse, I think Meth's swagger on this song was crazy. Meth's swagger on Wu-Tang Forever was crazy out the gate. And I mean, he was in such a pocket. It wasn't about what he was saying, it's how he was saying it. And I'm like, yo, in that was Meth showing that he's the one. He's like really the star child of the group in Wu-Tang Forever. And I wanted to go with that verse, but I want to double up this week, fellas, because I wanted to also show the dichotomy between that Meth and this Meth, which is still him on Rome Streets, that feature that he got on Ricky Bobby joint.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's not about what he's saying, it's how he's saying it. And Meth has that kind of appeal where he never had to evolve his voice. He never had to evolve his flow. He never had to evolve his cadence. because that's his signature. All of that is his signature. Some artists, you got someone like Nas, Ray, Meth, and a few others out there where their voice is like an instrument. So it complements the record itself as an instrument. And Meth is one of those. And I wanted to show love and respect to Meth for my bar seminar.
Super dope.
Yeah, I think it's really dope. Can I say a couple things? Because there's a reason that I wanted you to start off. When I heard the Meth verse on the Rome Streets today, I thought to myself, fellas, if you actually look, it's not like he's had a few feature runs that are pretty legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when I think about it, are you sure Jadakiss is the king of the 16 bars?
Great point.
Are you sure it's not
It's a
Meth?
fight.
It's a fight, bro.
Sure it's not Meth? Are you sure? Because I swear every time I hear him on the 16, I'm like, give me that guy.
It's a fight. And to be in shape, Meth's in great physical shape. He's in the gym, but in being lyrical shape, the way he is, Meth's like 53 in that ballpark?
I think I think rap has evolved, has the life cycle has when we were kids, they told us the life expectancy was like 65. I was like, damn, that's when we collect Social Security. They were like, we know, got your ass. Now it's different, and so I think in rap years it's different. But the way Meth is rapping right now, to me, it's reminiscent. Remember when Black Thought had that run where everybody's like, oh man, don't nobody really want to rap with Thought? Meth was actually a part of that, coincidentally enough. I think that moment had something to do with these moments that we've seen since then too.
I believe that, Coop. I think he felt embarrassed on that radio show Freestyle, and I think he locked in after that.
He wasn't prepared.
It is very rare that somebody of his caliber gets stunted on like that, but Black Thought is probably the guy of all guys that could do it. If you were like, pick the guy that could do that, it would probably be Black Thought or Lupe. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what I'm saying? That I'm not giving, and this is coming from a Wu fanatic, I'm not giving Meth a pass on that because he always has had to stay sharp being around 9 other swordsmen all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like him not being prepared in that moment coming on there with Black Thought. I don't give him a pass for that. You know what I'm saying? So I do believe what you're saying, Coop, that had a lot. He got caught. Everybody gets caught slipping every now and then. I think he got caught slipping, and I think he's locked in ever since then. And even what's more impressive, I heard in an interview, a handful of years ago, he's making a conscious effort to not curse because he feels like curse words are just like, substitute words, and he wanted to extend his vocabulary. I haven't heard Meth curse in a verse in, probably, about 4, maybe 5 years. And he still, got, lyrical, just everything he does in the verse as far as his like cadence, rhyme schemes, wordplay and stuff is still top tier without even cursing. So you're right. I think in the 2020s, I think you got to look at Meth's feature run and Wayne. They would be at the top for me.
Well, you want to know what I actually thought of today, and then we can get to your bar seminar, AG? I would love to hear this Method Man over those old RZA beats now.
Man.
Yeah.
That's
my only complaint because he can't I think he has a hard time translating these 16 bars into an album. You know what I'm saying? Making an album.
And that's where the beats become more important. Somebody like the RZA who can, put things together becomes more important as well.
Exactly.
Since AG is going to step out, I'm going to go ahead and give my bar seminar right quick. I know we kind of had the Wu-Tang Forever theme going. So since I was the last one to the party with the bar seminar, I figured I would keep it going, except for I picked my favorite duo. Well, favorite unofficial duo. Ray and Ghost on the MGM. This is my favorite back and forth all time. Sean, everybody that knows me knows this is a personal favorite of mine. It was between this and RZA's verse on Bells of War because y'all picked what I think are probably. I think everybody knows about Dex verse on Triumph, Ghost verse on Impossible. Those are the obvious choices. I think the verse on Scary Hours is one of those. The verse on Reunited is definitely one of those. So I think y'all picked 2 of the better verses. So it kind of left me wondering, what are the other magical moments on the album? And I was thinking, well, that back and forth with Ray and Ghost for me was that moment where I was like, man, this shit is just special.
Yeah.
And
Synergy between them two is crazy. It's crazy.
It was like one person speaking. You know what I'm saying? It was so smooth. I had never heard. People understand this is 1997. Like, go listen to groups that used to rap back and forth together. None of them ever sounded seamless as Ray and Ghost sounded on the MGM. None of them. It was
Absolutely.
different. It was a level up for MCs sharing the mic, in my opinion.
Yep. Being in the studio together, sharing mic time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. So that was my thoughts. AG.
Yeah, I picked the Jizza Genius on Reunited. His jump off verse, Wu-Tang Forever is one of my favorite albums of all time. May not, and the anniversary was this week on the 3rd. It might not be the greatest album of all time, but shit, if I could go on the island and take one album, that might be the one. You know what I'm saying? I really loved that album so much, and it was so pivotal to me. But what's so impactful about Jizza's verse was, I feel like the album takes you for a ride, and that's the first bars you hear coming in after the Wu Revolution intro, and you're kind of anticipating everything going around. And after the Kung Fu skit, you know what I'm saying? You hear the beat drop, and you hear Reunited, Double LP, World Excited, Struggle Match from the Underground, Industry Ignited. You know what I'm saying? He set it off right, you know what I mean, for the journey that was about to take place on the double album. So I just wanted to represent what that was. And also because in the album, the grand scheme of the album itself, other than Dirty, Jizz is not really heavily represented throughout the album. I think he's only on maybe six joints. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to show the Genius some love on my bar seminar today.
No doubt. No doubt. Yeah. He started off and kind of took a step back afterwards. He was
yeah, most of his joints are on disc 1.
Yeah.
He's on Older Gods. He's on Triumph. What else is he on? Reunited.
He's not on many cool.
He's not. I feel like there's
long verses. He doesn't even have long verses on there. He had
they're real short. Yeah.
Everything copy on there from him.
Contrary belief, I think someone said before that Jizza was on 80% of the album. Somebody was doing it.
Well, I mean, so part of my problem with Wu-Tang Forever is the fact that Jizza and Old Dirty Bastard aren't on there enough. And so that was one of my things with it. But you know what I always so my guy Mike Hubbard used to always say that Jizza's verse on here might be the best verse on the entire album because you never hear Jizza that excited when he raps and being the same lyrically tenacious and thoughtful MC we know him to be. And so it is one of the best verses on Wu-Tang Forever. It deserved, I think a lot of people, that Deck verse and that Ghost verse is so special that people forget how great that Jizza verse is.
This is up there though. And I think what you're saying, Coop, is also a testament to RZA's genius, just knowing placements where to put people, which rapper to bat lead off, you know what I'm saying? And those sorts of things. That's a testament to his production skills and his genius ability. So
it wasn't forced. He didn't force placements because if that's the case, he would have had Jizza on more than that. And I don't think Jizza would have fit a lot of these joints, to be quite honest. You think about the soundscape, it wasn't for Jizza.
And plus they made a conscious effort, you know what I'm saying, not to go into a whole Wu Forever deep dive, but if you listen to it, all right, Dirty already got a solo, Jizz already got a solo, Ghost, Ray, and Method Man. Method Man on a lot of joints because you can't get by without having Method Man on a lot of joints, you know what I'm saying, for hooks or what have you. Raekwon, you got to have him on a lot of joints. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Ghost. They're the 3 biggest stars of the group. Dirty probably is not on there just because it's Dirty. You know what I'm saying? He probably wouldn't even report into the studio a lot of time. Genius, I think that was an effort himself just to take a step back. Hey, I've had my time. I got my solo album. I got mine off on the 36 Chamber album. I even got a solo record on there, right? So I'm going to dial it back a little bit. Guys like Deck, you got Master Killer, you can come to the forefront and get more shine and more verses. And I think they made a conscious effort of that. Even RZA's rapping a lot on that album, whereas he didn't on 36. So, I think everything that happened was very strategic. And I think RZA orchestrated that.
Yeah. Yo, got another super chat, fellas. We'll move over to the next. Yo, Magic. Appreciate you, bro.
Have y'all listened to Wiz Khalifa's album? No.
No, I haven't. I heard a song or two off of it, but I haven't listened to the whole album.
But I will CBD to that.
Yo, that is crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So what we
So the
got?
people-
Finals.
We got new music. Y'all want to talk about the finals? Is there really anything to talk about?
It's really not. It's just
Okay.
yeah.
Glad we talked about it. Okay.
Okay,
OKC.
OKC in 6.
6?
Five.
1, 2, 3,
Gentlemen's sweep.
4, 5th.
5.
5th.
They got better defense, everything top to bottom.
Okay,
5.
Tyrese Halliburton is going to have to play like Magic Johnson, and Pascal Siakam is going to have to play like James Worthy in order for this to go 7 games.
5.
5th. All right, now that we got that out the way, glad we got that out the way. All right, new music. Rome Streetz, Trainspotting. Fellas, Sean, New York native.
Love it. I love it, man. I love it. Love it. You know I do. I like it. I like it, to be quite honest. There's a few joints on here. I like Mash. Mash reminds me of that Killer Army joint that they had on the last joint. Killer Army, remember that joint? Love Mash. I mentioned Ricky Bobby earlier as my bar seminar with Meth. Love Ricky Bobby. Love that beat.
That sounds like Prime RZA.
It sounds like Prime. Hell, even Bloody and Boogers sound like.
I'm pretty certain Ricky Bobby is a RZA sample.
It is. It gotta be. He
That's
had
a
to
RZA
lean.
sample.
He had to lean into that. He has.
That's a RZA sample. We need to check the rhyme on that. That's a RZA sample.
I love 99 Attributes. I love Electric Slide. I love the album, man. I think Rome is going crazy on here. Conductor, again, gotta be careful with Conductor because sometimes it can be redundant in his albums, right? He doesn't have an uptick or a downtick. It's like straight down the middle. But I really enjoyed this one. I'll probably, if I'm giving it a rating, I'll probably give it a 3.5.
That's kind of low, man.
Not really, because I think we were overrating a lot of stuff.
Damn, he'll talk glowingly about something and be like, "Yo, 2.75."
I led with love. I led with love, man.
I wasn't expecting a 4-piece from you right there.
I really want to. I really want to, but I want to dial back a little bit. I think we were kind of bloviating some of the ratings that we've been giving out lately.
AG?
Well, I was agreeing with Sean to that last part, but you know what I'm saying? I'll give it a 4. That's my rating off top. This would be my 3rd place in the album of the year so far, behind the Banks and the Exhibit. Love this album, but I'm gonna echo those sentiments that Sean said. Conductor for a full project can kind of get a little sleepy because, like you said, lack of tempo change and what I mean. But overall, I think he did a great job. And as far as Rome is concerned, Rome is spitting on here. But as far his content, his content is not going to blow you away. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't have a wide breadth of content. But as far as the rhymes, he's like spitting on here. And I mean, it's a lot of joints I love, like Andre Agassi, Runny Nose, Ricky Bobby. Blood in His Boogers is one of my favorite. Heartbreaker is phenomenal. Love Heartbreaker. Connie's Revenge, 99 Attributes. Like all them joints, love them. But yeah, man, I give this album a solid 4. It's I've been repeating it heavy. You know what I'm saying, when I've been out riding around. So
I think that you niggas are on angel dust.
He gave it a 4.
We didn't go into your stash, Coop.
Yeah, we leave it for you, Coop.
First of all, you stay out my stash. Second of all, stay out my stash.
This nigga, man.
No. Third, this album not that good, guys. I hate to be the one to break it to you. I'm gonna tell you why it's not that good.
Wow.
It's the same beat from the Conductor. It's the same flow and rhyme pattern from Rome. It is so redundant. I was literally falling asleep by the end of the album.
You do that all the time.
You're right.
But
that's not saying anything.
Hold on. But it wasn't drug induced. I was like awake. It was the middle of the day.
No. Andrew's
man, you bugging. This album dope, man.
The album is not dope. It has some moments. Heartbreaker is a moment. Heartbreaker to me is a surprise of the album.
That's the best song to me.
It is because it's what the album could have been, and it showed some versatility and some thought and some agility, which none of the other fucking tracks have. It's the same rhyme pattern, guys. Like when Meek Mill does this shit, we get on him about it. When other rappers like do this shit, it's the same rhyme pattern from them. It's the same style of beat from Conductor. It's like they did what they've already done before, just not as well. This isn't anywhere as good as Kiss the Ring.
Let me ask you this, Cool, because this is a short listen. Oh, go ahead.
Hold on. And I was offended as a tennis lover that he used Andre Agassi and referenced his serve when everybody knows Andre Agassi is known for his backhand. The nerve of this motherfucker know your tennis.
Cool.
The backhand that Agassi is
just the thought that counts.
Thought these, nigga. I don't care. Andre Agassi is my favorite player growing up. It's the backhand that he's known for.
Agassi was a beast.
Since all you niggas go to Paris so much, why don't you go to the French Open and watch some motherfucking tennis?
Yo, so you give it a 3?
Pretty much.
Wow.
Damn.
I give it a 3.5. AG going crazy with 4. AG gives everything a 4 though. AG.
So we landed as a cumulative 3.5.
3.3. Hold on.
No, 3.5. I know both of y'all are slow at math. So a 3 and a 4 and a 3.5. This is 3.5.
It don't feel like this nigga deserves a 3.5. This is wild. All right.
But let me ask you this. This is one thought I had for the album. The album is a short player. It's only like 40 minutes or something like that. But do y'all think it would be better served as an EP with maybe like 8 or 9 joints?
It's boring.
Nah,
I don't care. I'm tired of being nice.
That's crazy.
Boring.
I can see where Conductor's production gets repetitive, but the album's dope.
If I can see where Cool coming from. If you were to sprinkle some, even put some Alchemist in there. Give me about 2 Alchemist.
Give me some Havoc.
Mix it up just a little bit.
It's not that Alchemist would have picked up the BPMs either. Let's not get it twisted.
But it still gives you a slight aesthetic. If you're trying to stay in that lane, that's a slight tweak to that lane. If you're going to stay in that lane, if you're going to go to Alchemist, it's a slight.
And here's the thing: there's no bar seminars on here from Rome like that either. The best verse is the meth verse.
Meth verse is crazy. Meth verse is crazy. Not gonna lie.
And shout out to Iran. Just everything is just 2 verses in and out real quick, like nothing crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Roman's doing his thing though. But like I said, my thing is if I'm nitpicking him spitting on here, it's because the content is not real vast. But you know what I'm saying? He's spitting though.
He's rapping.
Okay, so for what he's spitting, if Pusha T is the barometer, where is he on that barometer? Because I tell you, he's only halfway home.
Oh, he ain't no Pusha T.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, so you need to be a little bit more entertaining if you're going to rap like this.
No, I can dig that. I can dig it. It's just dope.
It's more. How about this? If we're doling out blame based on my rating, I'm handing more blame to Conductor than I am to Rome. If we're talking about where I feel like the blame resides, because like pace and tempo and ebb and flow help make a classic album, help make a good album, a great album, a feel. This just feels like a record where it's like they found this loop and decided to rap on this night on this strain of marijuana. Right. All right. Thank you and good night.
Yeah. I mean, even what did I give the exhibit? A 4?
Like how about this, AG? I can see your 4. Like I can see why you're giving it a 4, but it's just not. I'm expecting more from both of them at this point. So no.
Yeah, it's definitely not as good as the exhibit, and it's definitely not as good as the Banks. I will put it 3rd behind those. You know what I'm saying? So if those are like, let's just say if the Banks is 4.25, the exhibit's 4, then yeah, I can maybe drop this to a 3.75. But you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be no lower than a 3.75 for me.
I give it 3.5. I think that's reasonable. Person.
I'm aware of what you gave. I was talking about what I was giving.
That's me showing love and grace.
Crazy. Grace is wild. Yeah. All right. Okay, that's crazy. All right. Next one. Okay.
You just want to be a jerk today. That's all this is. That's what this is about. I see where this is going. Yeah.
Styles P, guys, is everybody taking shots at Jim Jones now. Guess
the ghost.
Ghosts.
Styles P, little Farma bars. What'd you think about Ghost over the guillotine beat, guys?
Yes, sir.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Thought that was pretty diabolical of Ghost to rap over that beat.
Yes. You can't
Loved
go wrong
every
with that.
minute of it.
Can't go wrong with that beat.
Thought it had some very menacing moments to it.
Yes.
Thought he
Yes.
was very disrespectful. He genuinely and generally is.
Yes. Yes.
But those were more warning shots, but even his warning shots sound disrespectful because
Yes.
of his style's tone.
I enjoyed it. It was a nice little chin check.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice chin check.
I'm more surprised that Jim hasn't said anything because typically when someone
Are
says
you?
something to Jim, it doesn't take him long to jump back in the booth. It
No,
doesn't. He hasn't said anything.
No, we're
Yeah.
talking about right.
Right.
No, we're talking about right.
He don't want to make that mistake.
He don't want to make that mistake. But
No,
you
we're talking
know,
about right.
I got to give Jim, I give Cam those guys credit, man. They used to Jim would do it every now and then, but to you guys' point, he treading lightning with this one. This will be a long day for him. But normally they'll jump back out there quickly. They don't hesitate. Yeah. There's certain rappers out there, you said something about them, you might get a response in 12 hours, in half a day. You're going to get a response.
Well, Styles told him to sit down, you know.
Well, see, here's the thing. Styles will jump out the window. And I mean that like literally, like with you attached to his body. So
people don't remember it's Styles P who ended the State Property D Block beef. When Styles released that last freestyle, everybody shut up.
Yeah.
There was nothing to say after that. No responses.
Got to tread lightly, man. He said, you take the upside down turn. Yo, Styles is
Styles is one-on-one, man. He don't get enough credit, man. Dude, mad underrated. Coop, I know you talk about, most underrated rappers, man. Like, we don't even put Styles on that list, but he might be.
I don't think he's underrated.
I think he's rated because I think most people look at him like a top 25 MC all time, and I think that's kind of around where he is.
I think he's underappreciated, not underrated. I think he's underappreciated.
There we go.
Okay.
I'm with Sean on that. More underappreciated than underrated because I think he's rated.
Because with all the love that Jada gets, P isn't that far off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, that's what I'm saying. So for me, Jadakiss is like somewhere like 11, 12, 13, and Styles would be like 23, 24, 25. So like it's not like that far off.
Yeah, the separation between them is like Ray and Ghost separation. It's not much.
Ray and Ghost is closer to me, but yes,
they're both pretty close. But
yeah,
like I would have like Ghost at 9 and Ray at like 12. That's me.
What separates like, discography?
Like yeah. So like, how about this? Like for me, for me, you can't realistically tell me that there are 5 slots that separate Ray and Ghost. I could see 5 to 10 slots separating Styles and Kiss. Because Kiss has had so many moments where you've just been like, wow, that's some of the best shit I've ever heard.
Yeah. Yeah. Kiss has the it factor. He has the it factor. Yeah. Styles will get you a quiet 20-20.
How about this? The Kiss shit is more memorable. Like when he says, y'all better give me my ass cap or get your ass capped. Like he says stuff like that you remember.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Kiss going to give you the flashy 2015, right? 20 points, 15 rebounds. Styles going to give you that very quiet 15 and 10.
You want to know what it is?
It was potent. It got you to win. You needed that.
And you was all 6 fouls.
It's kind of like this. Charles Barkley and Tim Duncan have like similar career numbers, but Charles Barkley is so much more exciting
at the highlights
than Tim Duncan.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That Duncan.
Yeah. So Kiss is more like Barkley, where it's like, ooh, did you see how Barkley jumped up taller? That guy 7 inches tall. You see Barkley jump higher than that guy, get that rebound. Like, ooh,
yeah.
Can't no power forward do that but Barkley. And then you see somebody like Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan just back you down, put the ball off the glass, fundamental shit. Same 2 points. Same 2 points. You know what I'm saying? Just totally different. And that's how Styles and Kiss are to me. And I always told people it's like, for me, Barkley, I look at Kiss very much like I look at the way I look at Barkley. It's like, oh no, would be much higher if he had that undisputed like classic album, much like Barkley would be much higher if he had that championship ring.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But shout out to SP, man. Corona Queen, stand up.
Yeah, Styles in the house. All right, last but not least for new music, guys, even though this song is like 15 years old now, Ace Trumpets by the Clipse was finally released.
The full song.
The full song. I think, when did this get debuted? When did we first hear snippets of this? At Fashion Week 2 years ago?
No, that was different joint. That was Chains and Whips.
Yeah,
That was
it's the
yeah,
new
that
one
wasn't Ace
from
Trumpet.
last week. Yeah, this one was snippet last week, last Thursday actually, last Thursday night. Yeah.
All right, guys, thoughts, AG?
Listen, man, I'm gonna echo what I said last week. The boy Malice is coming. Like I'm telling you, like Malice is gonna do something special on this album. Like, you know, Pusha is Pusha, but I'm excited for this album to hear what Malice is gonna do. Like Malice owned this song, if you ask me. And shit, I've been listening to It's Almost Dry a lot this week, going back listening to that. Malice has the best verse on that whole album, in my opinion, when I Pray For You for the feature. So I'm super excited to hear what Malice is going to do. And I was talking about Method Man being in top hip hop shape. Malice is like the same age. Malice is like 52, 53, took a hiatus from the game for a little bit and coming back rapping like this. I'm impressed. You know what I'm saying? So I think this album would be dope. I was kind of doubting Pharrell's production a little bit. I like the beat on this song. It makes me nervous with no Chad. It's not a Neptune's production effort. It's just Pharrell by himself. But I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, you know, because everything I've heard so far I've liked. So I'm really looking forward to this. But I'm telling you, man, like what Malice is going to do on this album is going to be special. I know Push is your guy, Coop, but Big Bro is going to dominate this album. I can see it now.
If I may, Sean, you mind if I go?
Yeah, please.
So first of all, AG, let me say, for their first couple of albums, you could say that Malice is actually the better rapper.
He was always my favorite. I think Pusha passed him up on to the Casket drops, though.
He's the best rapper on Lord Willing. Like, it's not even a conversation for me on Lord Willing.
Correct.
Now, I feel like, although they are comparable rappers on Hell Hath No Fury, Pusha T's moments are more scene stealing. Not necessarily better, but more scene stealing. And because his delivery is a little bit more off kilter, like you can tell that Malice is older because of the structure in which he writes his rhymes. It is a KRS-One-ish style of writing a rhyme.
It's not as nimble. It's not as versatile as Pusha. Yeah,
correct. It's got a boom bap to it, and I don't mean like 94 boom bap. I mean 88 boom bap. He's 53. Like Nas has, like Method Man has. Like their boom bap isn't a 90. No, that's when you heard them. The shit that they hearing in their head is really some 88 shit. You know what I'm saying?
And we lost Scoop.
But he back.
Sorry. And so I'm not surprised that Malice sounds this way on this record. He does carry this song, in my opinion, and that worries me for the album, though. Because I don't think this song is all that without Malice's verse. And it's crazy that I'm saying that because Pusha is my guy. You feel
Pusha's
me?
verse was dope. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it wasn't, like, but.
Oh, man, my sound done went out. I can't hear you. I got to jump out and come back. But those are my thoughts. Is that Malice actually makes the song. That makes me worry. And that makes me think that this needs to sound great in the sequencing of the album because Malice's verse is clearly the standout moment of it. And it hasn't been like that since Lord Willing. Like, not where he's the scene stealer that carries the song. And that makes me worry about where Pusha is content level wise because this very much feels Outkast-like to me in the sense the way Big Boy cooks up the record and Andre comes in and cleans it up out the park. Well, what is that doing for Pusha's content? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that's part of what happened to Big Boy, in my opinion. I got to jump out so I can get some sound from you guys, and I'll be right back.
All right.
Up there it is. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes. Okay.
just came back.
Yeah, I could definitely rock with what you're saying, Coop. But for me, I'm glad you brought up content because I think that you're spot on with like far as flows and delivery and stuff. Push is better in that regard. But I always give Malice the edge on the content because he gives you almost the same amount of wit as Pusha, but you know what I'm saying? It's always a message there. Like I said, what we get with Malice all the time, Steady Eddie, is what we get when we get Jay-Z on Regrets, when we get Jay-Z on You Must Love Me, like those type of records. That's Malice's wheelhouse that he lives in, right?
Okay,
so
I'm sorry.
So yeah, I'm just saying, like, that's why I always give him the edge is based on the content within the bars.
I think, okay, so this is what I mean about the entertainment value. Malice will say some shit that'll go. Malice says slick bars sometimes that go over people's heads. Like one time he said, hands down, we the best. I'm a narcissist. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You'd have to really like get everything to get everything. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those type of MCs. That's why I bring up KRS-One. It's like, well, you can't jump halfway into the verse and try to get what's going on. He's already gone somewhere. You know what I'm saying? He's thinking it somewhere when he rhymes. Even though what he's talking about is hustler oriented, you can tell when he raps, he comes from a Chuck D, KRS-One, rocking school of thought when approaching a rhyme, as in there is a school of thought to it.
Yeah.
As in I am consciously going to communicate something in this effort.
Right.
Pusha is more off the cuff and thereby more entertaining. Because he'll just say more random, witty stuff. Right.
Makes sense.
What'd you think of the hook?
It's just okay.
Okay.
It's just okay. That's what I mean. I'm hoping that this, in the sequencing of the album, I mean, in order, a lot of people still feel like Lord Willing is their best album. Don't agree with that at all. But Hell Hath No Fury, Lord Willing, and then Till the Casket Drops. I think an appropriate album would be something better than Till the Casket Drops and comparable to Lord Willing minus grinding.
What about you, Sean?
I agree with both of you guys' points. I'm kind of in the middle because I feel that I said this last week. I think Malice has a lot to say, and that's why we're getting a sharper version of Malice in comparison to Push. We've heard Push for the past couple of years now as a solo act.
Like 15, like 15 years. 15.
A lot, right?
15.
So
5 out.
Malice has been on his journey, and I'm looking forward to see what this journey is going to bring to this album. And to be quite honest, it might be one of those things where he may overshadow Push because of that journey that he's been on. Because he's still battling two different things. He's battling like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Because Malice didn't want to come back to doing any of this. He didn't want to talk about this kind of rap anymore. He didn't want to go down this lane anymore. But we heard glimpses of that in the joint that you talked about, AG, when he was, when he was rapping. He was rhyming about like, where does he fit into all of this? Seeing his little brother do his thing, and now he's back into the fold as well. I'm looking forward to hearing that because I do think the part that people talk about a lot, especially when it comes to Push, that he's talking about quote rap all the time and not much else in that, and everything surrounded by that. I think Malice is going to get that good balance. I think Malice is going to talk about life. I think he's going to talk about the journey that he's been on, and that you're going to hear that conflict. To me, I think you're going to hear that conflict in this album. And to your point, cool. I don't look as something being scared about or being scary for, because I think it's going to force Push to either step it all the way up a little bit more, take up a different notch to match that level of attention to detail that Malice is going to give us, or Push going to take a step back and let Big Bro take the reins to this album.
Well, okay, so you have to. And people need to understand this. Malice taught his brother how to rhyme and hustle.
Right.
So everything that Push knows is a spinoff of Malice anyway.
Yeah. And Pusha don't have any ego. I mean, we're going to talk about the article here in a minute, but he alludes to that, like, like he likes the fact that his brother is still nice with it, and people are saying that, he's better. Like, you know what I mean? So I think that's dope.
Actually, I think it's Okay, so here's how I look at it. I think it's actually appropriate for Pusha's legacy that this is happening right now, and I'll tell you why. They essentially, as a group, had a 10-year career, and then he essentially has had a 15-year solo career.
Mm-hmm.
Material-wise, he might be in a place where his brother might be better, because his brother has not. It's just like when people were saying, "Well, Black Thought's better than Nas." It's like, okay, so Nas is on album number, Black Thought is out on album number 0. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can't really say that based on the well. And so what I expect to hear is I expect to hear Pusha T's, relentless and tenacious delivery and off-kilter flow, luxurious coke talk. I expect to hear all that, but I don't expect him to sound better than Malice, because it was a comparable race the last time Malice was really, really active. Because I'm going to tell you guys something.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that Till the Casket drops isn't as good as Lord Willin' or Hell Hath No Fury or Held as High is because Malice isn't as great on there.
That's a fact. Pusha passed him up at that point.
Yeah, Pusha was far past him, and you could hear the discrepancy. But it also didn't seem like Malice. Like if you're a big fan of the Clipse like I am, and you listen to their stuff, you can tell that because of what was going on with Tony.
Mm-hmm.
And because of what was going on with his faith, that he was in a different place, and it affected the music until the casket dropped.
Yeah,
like
his heart wasn't in it.
Like on Hell Hath No Fury, it helped make the music. Like on Keys Open Doors, he's like, and I walk with the glow. It's like the Lord shown favor. Like it helps him that he's going through that that imbalance and that changing of the worlds on Hell Hath No Fury. It hurts him until the casket drops.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm glad you brought that up. It's very comparable to Prodigy on Infamy. You know what I'm saying? Like how we heard in real time Havoc kind of pass him up, but P's health wasn't really, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't allow him to have his heart into the bar.
Also, let's not get it twisted. Malice not being on his A game until the casket drops, he's still better than 85% of these guys that are rapping.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like him. Like his verse on Never Will It Stop. I got the game in the bag like I'm Claus. That's what I'm saying. You got like, he's one of those guys, he's from that train of thought that even though he's talking what he's talking, like Pusha says the stuff that makes you laugh, that makes you go, ooh, that's witty.
Right.
Like,
he has wit. Yeah.
Malice actually says the stuff
makes you
that
think.
requires some thought out of you. Like when he says, I got the bag. Like he said, what'd he say? Louis Bags, I trick them with good faith in hopes that they return in favor with good face. Meant to leave my mind in a good place. Wake up every day admiring landscapes. Hell, even my garage and menage. Like my hoes exotic, the same as my cars. $1 million deposit, suffer from withdrawals. I got the game in the bag like I'm Claus. That's him on his down tick, guys.
Yeah.
He's
just more cerebral at the end of the day.
He's an elite MC, and this is why the Clipse are one of my favorite groups of all time. Oh no, outside of Andre and Big Boy, show me two better guys lyrically, like in a group together. Because Andre and like in an official group, because Andre and Big, if we talking about like on some rap shit, oh no, you take any duo, because it's like, oh no, Malice gonna take whoever your number 2 is, he taking them off the board. And even for me, as an Outkast fan, I will tell you, like on some rap shit. Oh no, if it was Malice versus Big Boy, I'd be worried as somebody that would still pick Big Boy.
Yeah, and I love Havoc, but Havoc, like you say, get wiped off the board. Yeah.
Havoc's not better than Malice. Yeah,
let's slow it down some.
I don't know rap shit.
Sean say, "Please get the money."
Slow it down.
Yeah, that's cool.
I got
Queen's gonna take that L if Malice is going up against Havoc on some rap shit.
Yeah, Malice on his A game is something different. But I think it's not as clear cut who's 1 and who's 2 between Clipse and Pusha. That's what makes them so great.
Oh, and you might hear that on this album, because this is what I mean. Pusha gets the notoriety. No, Malice has had moments where he's standing right next to Pusha and he's got the better verse. The illin shit on Trapper Die 2, my favorite shit. So sick with it. Malice got bird flu. Sat till draft pain, patience of virtue. Who ain't know the Clipse got it in like a curfew? You can smell the coke scented on them like it's perfume. Sitting at that church pew looking for forgiveness, wishing we had Tony back. Now all of us are prisoners. This
Yeah,
motherfucker been sick with it for a while.
Yeah,
yeah.
no doubt, no
He
doubt.
always sprinkles that
They
in there.
compliment
Yeah, that's
each
what
other
I'm
very
saying.
well.
That's what I mean. It's just like listen to all the verses that I just said. He's mentioning God in all these verses. These verses
All
are
of them.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always there in the music.
It's
it's always
always
been
been
there, always been there, and they
Oh,
complement each other so well. I think that the pieces that Push may lack in, Malice makes up for it. The parts
yes.
that Malice lacks in, Push makes up for it. That's what
like
makes them so comparable.
how about this? Lyrically has a duo. Oh no, they Jadakiss and Styles, Ray and Ghost. Those are their comps lyrically.
No
Oh
doubt.
yeah, I mean they help. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, lyrically those that's how good Malice is. No, Malice can rap with all those guys.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got a sidebar question for y'all real quick before we move on. Coop, you alluded to it. You hope this song sounds better within the flow of the album, you know, the track list, because it's just okay to you as a single. We all come from the era where artists had to work their singles months before an album dropped, right? You had to get the radio play, you dropped the video, and everything created hype for the album. But listening to this song, what this tells me is in this time in the modern era of streaming, I almost rather for my favorite artist to just drop the album. I don't need a single behind it because you know what I'm saying. When that happens, more often than not, you hear a single and you're like, "Oh, it's pretty good, it's okay." But then you hear it in the context of the full body of work or the vision of the album. You're like, "Yo, this joint's a banger" or whatever. So, what do you all have to say as far as that's concerned? Like, would you rather people still try to work singles or just drop albums? Because I'll remind you, when It's Almost Dry came out, you had the Hear Me Clearly out for a while on the Nego album, and
Yeah.
you had Diet Coke circulating for a while. So by the time the album only had 12 tracks, so by the time the album dropped, I'm like kind of skipping those two records because they've been in circulation for so long and only listening to the 10 that was on there. So I'm just
oh,
saying,
and
I think modern day it's better served just to drop the album.
Neck and Wristed dropped too.
Yes, that too. Yep.
And
Yeah.
I feel like there was another record that we had already heard. There was like 4 records,
Thank
4
you.
of the
Yeah,
12
it
records.
was.
We
It
heard
was
4 of the 12
that's
records.
why I don't like this. They're having a hell of a rollout with the article in and of itself and the controversy surrounding it. I don't think this record needs to be swirling out there just to help the buzz any. I mean, they've already played the
So,
joints at the fashion week. You know what I mean?
so
I
here's my
think they could
problem.
have just lived off that.
So here's my problem, and I'll tell you the truth. And so this is me being objective about it. Let's call this what it is. If Pharrell wasn't the creative director for Louis Vuitton,
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't be on the cover of GQ. There would be no GQ article.
No.
If Pharrell,
That's fair.
No.
okay, so let's go ahead and address that. When you were living essentially in Paris at the Louis Vuitton house, you know what I'm saying? Like culturally, you're getting different things from people, and you're pulling from different parts of fashion and music and film. It's different. It's a different world, like what they've been recording in the last couple of years, and
Yeah.
so I hope that different environment breeds some of their best stuff, a la Ray and Ghost in Miami for the Purple Tape, or the early good music team in Hawaii for My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I hope that it's one of those moments. But I am much like you. I think this rollout has a lot to do with Pharrell, and I'm going to say this. They are getting a lot of attention, and they have always gotten a lot of attention based on who they are connected to. Even right now, this GQ thing, Rock
That's a good
Nation,
point.
Day,
Good
Pharrell,
point. Good
Timber.
point.
It's always been who the Clipse are connected to
Great point.
and
Great.
never about the Clipse. I need this
Great
album
point.
musically to be strong enough for all of this hype, for all of this weight, for all this Rock Nation and Jay and Kendrick verse and bringing Drake back up and Malice, for all of this. No, I need them to have a moment about their music because
Point.
here's the thing. If you look at them as a group, everything is top 10 about them except for their clout and notoriety, and that's because everybody around them is more notarized.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Yeah, they've been
Each about
attached
them
to
is
the
top
best
10.
of the best. But
Yeah,
That's a damn good point.
like
Damn good point.
if I'm being objective about like calling them a Southern group, it's like, oh no, they better than 8 Ball and MJG to me, but I can't really say that. You feel me?
That's a good point, cool. And that's coming from
Like
someone
that,
who's
like to me they are, but it's like they haven't given me enough reason as a fan of theirs to go outside here in the South and say that shit without it being a problem. So I don't
right.
get to say that they're better than UGK, even though I feel like they should be. I can't say they're better than 8 Ball and MJG. 3-6. Good, like I can't say it, and they should be. And so I need this album to be about something about that. Like that's
That's
my
a good point.
perspective on that.
That's a
fair
good
enough.
point. I like that point because you're speaking from an unbiased position, being someone who's a big fan of this group. You hit
Yeah.
it on the head. Like honestly, I don't think a lot of people say that. Real talk. I don't think a
Like
lot of people
they should be the South version of Mobb Deep.
Yeah.
easily. If not, if not a tad bit more, because you're talking about two MCs who actually gets it in. Where
Right. But no, with the beats behind it. It's not like the beats ain't behind it. Go listen to the beats on some of these albums. Like
yeah,
Pharrell and Chad and or just Pharrell and I guess some instances have literally given these guys some of their best beats. It may be not some of the catchiest stuff, but it's definitely some of their best shit. Like those beats on Hell Hath No Fury. Nah, I'm rapping over every last one of those beats over and over and over
yeah.
and over and over
That's a real good point. That's a
over.
good point. Yeah,
That's crazy because even yeah, that's a hell of a point, cool. Because even how we frame it, like they've always been attached to, like you said, people who have more cachet. Like if you know, Nas is working with Premier now, but it's not like, oh my God, Nas is working with Premier because it's Premier. It's like, Premier is going to give beats to Nas. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the way it's framed. Like if Jay came out tomorrow and said like, I'm doing an album with Just Blaze or whatever, you're like, oh, I'm glad Just Blaze is giving Jay beats. But it's framed with the Clipse like they're the role player. Like, oh, Clipse is gonna, what I'm saying, be produced by Kanye. Clips are gonna be produced by Pharrell or whatever. You know what I mean? So that, yeah. I never thought about it like that, but yeah, you're
Okay,
right.
so look at this. They've been sitting in the Louis Vuitton house for a couple years. How?
Because of Pharrell.
That's my whole fucking point. Right.
Yeah.
When is it going to be about the Clipse? That's what's keeping them from their top 10 status. It's never been about the Clipse.
They've been linked to the best of the best, but to your point, that might hurt them because they never supersede that whoever they're
Right.
linked with. You know what I mean?
Like think about this. Hell Hath No Fury better than Riding Dirty?
It's close, but I would give it to Hell Hath No Fury.
Okay.
yeah.
Most people down here ain't going to give you that. Better than Coming Out Hard by 8 Ball and MJG?
Yeah, for me, yeah.
For me, it is.
Right.
But
See, this is
that's
what I'm
me.
saying. Most people down here, they're not gonna give you that though. Like Clips don't clear that bar for a lot of people down here. And I wish they had something that cleared the bar.
Let me ask you this: Daytona's greatness. Do you think that's more about Kanye or more about what Push is doing? This is asking this in relation to the point that you made.
I think Kanye was the first person that was smart enough to realize that even though he's talking about cocaine mostly, he's still an elite lyricist shorten the project. I think he's the person. I think for all the brilliant stuff, because people need. How about this? Here's what Kanye's seen. Let's go to Hell Hath No Fury, guys. How many tracks is Hell Hath No Fury?
Oh, I forget how many he got on there.
12 records.
12. I thought it was like 13, 14. It's 12. Okay.
Oh, let's see. Intro, Mama, I'm So Sorry. Mr. Me Too, Wamp Wamp, Ride Around Shining, Dirty Money, Hello New World, Keys
12.
Open Doors.
12.
It's 12. Okay. So, Push is only rapping on half of those songs. That's about 6 songs worth of material, guys.
Yeah.
It's their best stuff.
Yeah.
Right. So doing a project with Push about 6, 7, 8 records, that's probably where you're going to get his best stuff from. Because if you're looking at the Clipse track record, where their two best projects, one is 12 records, one is what? 16 records, but it has like 8 guest appearances. So getting him in that 6 to 8 song pocket as an MC is his sweet spot for his greatness. Kanye just seen it. That's all. He like, no, Hell Hath No Fury, they best shit. No, he got
Pusha did say he had intuition. He didn't say that in the interview.
That's part of the intuition. You got to break it down like that. So it's like, yeah, no. So it's still so that's Kanye's genius about keeping it short, keeping it brief, keeping it sweet, and also seeing how the generation was changing into this short ass time span where you literally have 15 seconds to get a motherfucker's attention.
Yep.
But Pusha's still special on there.
Still special.
Still
so it's a perfect marriage of both.
You know what he is? You know what Daytona is? Okay, so if Hell Hath No Fury is his Reasonable Doubt, then Daytona is his blueprint, where it's like, oh, it don't got his best lyrics, but it got some of his best flows and pockets and his most memorable moments. Like, you know, first the fat boys break up. Now every day I wake up, somebody got something to say. No, that's not his best lyrical shit, but it's some of his most memorable shit.
Yeah. It's conversational J.
It's conversational J. Yeah. Take over. Breaks over, nigga.
Yeah.
See me. No, that's not his best lyrical stuff, but in terms of memorable shit. And that's what Daytona is for Push. Oh, no, it's not the dude that's rapping on Hell Hath No Fury.
Right. He's simplified.
Right. He's mastered the game. Yep. Them trap doors supposed to be awkward.
Yeah.
Circle around twice for the encore. No, it's not lyrically nothing special, but memorable. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we all clicking like Golden State, you know what I'm saying? Like no, that's very, very simple by Pusha T.
Very simple.
Yeah, it's very simple by Pusha T. His most memorable stuff.
Yeah.
Like I told you, what would Meek do is the moment where he's like really like the Pusha T from Hell Hath No Fury. That's why I like it so much. That's the guy from Hell Hath No Fury. Other than that, like the guy on Infrared and what would Meek do? That's the guy from Hell Hath No Fury. Other than that, he's somebody different on it. Yeah. Yeah, but those guys are special. Let's go into two more.
Let's keep it there. Let's finish off with there because we went down that whole rabbit hole with them. Let's just finish it off.
You want to go to the GQ? You want to go to the GQ interview?
Finish it off there. Yeah.
This was a phenomenal interview.
Yeah.
It was. I wasn't expecting to get this information out of them. First of all, these two guys usually aren't this informational. I know personally from my last run-in with Mr. Younger brother Thornton. Yeah, they don't like to talk too much. They never been the like
because he called him Mr. Thornton.
Right? Yeah, I call him Mr. Thornton.
Excuse me,
he thought you was the feds.
Yeah, he definitely did. So, excuse me, Mr. Thornton.
Yeah, you mean at the back door?
What am I gonna do in this uppity ass club? Be like, yo, Push.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly what you do, Coop.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you inside my life a little bit. See, human resources has already walked my black ass out of here once. So what you have to understand is that I have how about this? They created a byline that pretty much said, "You're not fired, but don't come back until we okay with you." About me. And so I was gone for 3 years because pretty much, the aforementioned airline threw up a couple gang signs like, no, like, we're just not going to let you back in here. I was like, well, you can't do that. And they was like, we have billions of dollars. Yes, we can. I was like, oh, you can't. Okay, I'm going to just step away from the microphone. For a while. So when I'm working, and it might be best for me to shut the fuck up and call him Mr. And it might be best if I shut the fuck up. Yeah. So Mr. Thornton, what it is, because you think it's Kupak. How about this? I'm Kupak in the airport too. So it's like, oh, this nigga said Pusha T, get his black ass back up out of here again. Told you not to let this nigga
taking people's stuff out the luggage is crazy though. Like, Yo, you can't take that.
No.
You can't take that through TSA.
They couldn't think about this. This is a fire at will state, and they couldn't legally fire me.
Right.
But they was just like, no. They were like, just go home. I was like, when can I come back? They were like, don't come back.
Don't.
Like, oh,
you will come back. You can't take people's stuff out their luggage, man, and think it's okay. You can't just do it, Coop.
I don't work in the area where luggage is handled. I'm dealing with this motherfucker walking through with his Louis Vuitton bag and me calling him Mr. Thornton, okay?
Yeah, as you should. As you should. You did the right thing. You did a humane thing. Yeah. But
no, but
good interview, man. Good interview.
No, the interview is excellent. It's insightful. As somebody that's a big fan of theirs, it gives you even more insight into the dichotomy of their relationship. But once again, because it's GQ, so it's like, well, a lot of time is spent on the ancillary. That would be the Kanye, the Drake, the Kendrick, the Jay, the Pharrell. And once again, although a great article, it's like I said, well, the clips get lost in the shuffle because of their affiliations. I just want the music to reflect the affiliation. Because I tell people, Hell Hath No Fury is my purple tape. Like, it's my modern day purple tape. Like, purple tape came out when we were teenagers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, no, I was outside when Hell Hath No Fury came out. You know what I'm saying?
And how they achieved that is the reunion of it all. You know what I'm saying? This is 16 years since the last Clipse album. So I think that's the way they can have a triumphant return and it be about them versus all the ancillary stuff like you spoke about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But shout out to Fraser Tharp, man. It was like, the way it was written was super dope too. It took me back. You know what I mean? I ain't read a dope hip hop article in years. You know what I'm saying?
I was actually about to say, AG, is it me or did you feel like he wrote the article for guys like you and me? That's how I felt when reading the article. I felt like the tone and the way the article was structured. I was like, man, this is back when a Double XL or the Source or the Vibe give you the interview that you wanted and they would get it right and you would be like, man, that shit was dope.
Yeah, peak journalism, man.
I haven't read one of those in a minute, AG. Those were my same sentiments. I was like, man, this is really a dope ass read, actually.
Yeah,
like
it was
like
a very long read, but it was dope. I was never bored reading it. It was really well written.
Like usually, we're halfway into a read that's literally like 3/4 shorter, and be like, man, this is some fucking bullshit. I'm so sick of like this was. It was well written. It was introspective. It was thought provoking. It built anticipation. It appropriately discussed legacy. I guess I would ask you guys because I did. And this is because AG, it was a long article. I'm just reading this article and I'm really thinking about it, how long these guys have really been around. Because when I thought about it, it's like, hold on, these guys rapped together for 10 years. Then he had a 15-year solo career in the back. I was like, hold on, they've been around my whole life. And it made me think, where are they really all time? Like, really? Like, legitimately? Because I think there's so many groups that they might be like on some rap shit better than, but because they were never bigger than, because they never impacted culture greater than, they're going to slide down the scale. It's like, it's going to be hard for me to tell an EPMD fan that I love the Clipse more. It's going to be hard for me to tell a Bone fan I love the Clipse more. That's where I think they struggle.
Their placement to me is hard to do, just like the Locks, right? Because the Locks span of their career since 98 till now, or when we first heard them in 97 till now, they only have 1, 2, 3, 4 albums, correct? As a group.
As a group. Yep.
Clipse only have 3 albums as a group, not counting the mixtapes, so 3 albums as a group. So we really put a lot of stock into their solo works to help place them a little bit higher. But I think that hurts them in the grand scheme of things. Like, them being apart, the Clipse for those 15, 16 years, even though Pusha, grew with his solo career, I think that hurts them as a group. It's like an inverse. It helped Pusha all time as a solo MC, but hurt them as a group to a degree.
Okay, we can't move the goalpost though, and so we need to just use the appropriate litmus test. And so the appropriate litmus test, and it's appropriate that we're doing this on a day where Sean is Wu-Tanged out, Meth and Jizza and Ghost and Ray, or bar seminars. if we cannot rank Wu-Tang Clan appropriately outside of the solo catalog,
Mhm.
do not need to give these other groups all the smoke, because if we're being honest with ourselves, like truly honest with ourselves, if we're going off a catalog, and catalog being like that determining factor, and impact and culture and hit, all that other shit matters too. I don't know. You can make an argument Wu-Tang don't deserve to be in the top 5 at that point.
They just got way too much. They have more group albums than either of the groups that I just named.
But do they have better? That's what I'm saying. So it's like, how about this? It's like, first of all, if we're just going off of like actual group stuff, well, it's like, well, they're not better than the Roots, Tribe, or De La. If we just going off group catalog shit, because those guys got like a couple of albums past what Wu-Tang's best shit is.
They got a big joker in 36 Chambers. The only person who could argue, the only group that could argue that really is like the Tribe, with Low End Theory and, you know what I'm saying, Midnight Marauders, Mobb Deep with the Infamous. Like, once you got one of those top 5, top 10 all-time albums, it's hard to argue with the rest of
it. See, this is what I'm saying though. Okay, so let's say like, okay, so you got a big joker, but it's like, oh no, that big joker is not as important when you have a group like De La that has the ace, king, queen, and the jack. That big joker doesn't matter as much because they got 4 books to your 1. That doesn't matter as much. That's why I'm saying, like, if we being honest, like, we got to objectively look at it. It's like, you can't sit up there and tell me that Enter the Wu-Tang is so important that it outweighs 3 Feet High and Rising, Stakes is High, Balloon Mind State, De La Soul is Dead.
But that's not the conversation. The conversation is with the Clipse. Like, you could take the Clipse' best work, Hell Hath No Fury, and it's not even as impactful as Wu-Tang Forever, which is not Wu-Tang's best work.
But that's what I'm saying is like, well, I mean, first of all, my problem with Wu-Tang Forever is that it's not impactful. It happens in 97. That's Puff's year. That's the thing about it that hurts it to me. It's like, well, the bars and the beats are still there, but there is no impact on Wu-Tang Forever, unfortunately. It didn't shift anything in the culture. It did nothing for the culture. Like, it just existed.
It was more of a moment than a cultural shift.
It was a moment for the group, but it wasn't a moment for the culture. We're talking about a group moment versus a cultural moment. It was a moment for the group.
It was a combination of things. You had
the only cultural moment they had was the concert, was the thing with Rage Against the Machine. In hip hop culture, Wu-Tang Forever did not move the meter in real time. The Carnival by Wyclef and all the Puff shit was playing in mass, like while Wu-Tang Forever was going on. Like It's Yours and A Better Tomorrow and Triumph was not like outside.
I disagree, and I don't know if anybody else has ever said this, but I feel like Wu-Tang set the table for DMX and Pun and the likes of those in 9-8, because you got Puffy in the shiny suit era in 9-7, and Wu-Tang was the antithesis of that. And you're right, Coop, although Puff was winning that fight, the people who was rocking with Wu-Tang, it still set the table for that shift in 9-8 for X to come, prime through and take it and knock the shiny suit era out. That would have been a harder fight for somebody like X to do if Wu-Tang Forever doesn't exist.
No, I get what you're saying. Okay, so sometimes an album can be great and not impact culture at all because of what's going on around it. There are literally about 10 classic rap albums that came out in 1996 that have no impact on culture whatsoever because they came out in 1996 and Tupac had just got out of jail.
Yeah, Puffy owned that year, but Wu-Tang was still a culmination album. That was like
this is what I'm saying. Wu-Tang Forever is like, how about this? You think Muddy Waters is a classic, right?
Absolutely, 1000%.
You think most people tell you Muddy Waters is better than Wu-Tang Forever? Same amount of impact. It happened.
I disagree.
Sometimes when it happens, affects your impact, which affects the gravitas, which can affect your standing. And the Clipse have existed around people that have affected their standing. The music has kind of been there.
But I still think the impact was there forever. Like me and Sean, both Marvel guys, I feel like Wu-Tang Forever was more like Infinity War or Endgame, where it was like 10 years leading up, all the solo movies leading up to this culmination like team up thing. Whereas we had the 5 solo joints in between 36 chambers, and now Forever is the grand culmination of all that. And it was when RZA was saying like, okay, the 5-year plan is finished. We don't know where we're all going from here, but this is the culmination of that. That in and of itself is a major impact.
It's a bookend to
it's a bookend, right?
To an amazing run. But let's get away from the Wu part. Let's talk about the Clipse in comparison to their contemporaries, because you're talking about a whole 9 to 10 million for Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang is somewhere else.
It's too wide a breadth of like material.
Yeah, that's too much to decipher.
No. I mean, if we're talking, hold on. But how about this? What I'm saying is that if we get to talk about Wu-Tang in reference to the solo projects contributing to the impact, then we have to do the same thing for everybody else, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, that's fair. But outside of Daytona, what solo album boosts their legend in it?
I mean, first of all, Pusha T makes better albums than Jadakiss and Styles. So that would be the thing that would boost it, in my opinion, is that the people that he's actually come up in the game with that are actually held higher than him by traditional rap standards. Well, he actually makes better rap albums than those guys. And so that would be a feather in their cap and give them an advantage over the Lox. Because Daytona is better than anything solo that Jada or Styles has made, in my opinion. I know some people disagree.
Is Pusha's solo catalog really like that though? Because he doesn't have really like long player albums, and he doesn't release albums like, you know, fairly consistently. He takes a lot of break between albums. You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking because like Daytona is what it is, but name a full length player that Pusha T has that's in the annals of hip hop as a classic.
I could say the same thing about Jadakiss and Styles. That's what I'm saying. Daytona is better than anything Jadakiss and Styles have to boot, and people tote them around like they're top 10-ish. I mean, in your case, you have Kiss super high. Kiss, yeah. I mean, to me, Pusha's second best album, which is My Name Is My Name, is more comparable to Kiss the Game Goodbye than Daytona is, because Daytona's way above Kiss the Game
But that's their individual rating. I'm talking about what propels the Clipse versus what propels the Lox, because what you're saying is true. I do hold Kiss high, and then we said that Styles was underappreciated, but that's them individually. Like that doesn't necessarily bump the collective, is what I'm saying.
Listen to what I'm saying. Oh no, the Clipse. How about this? The Clipse have a better album catalog than the Lox too.
Right, like, I would agree with that.
Right, so if Pusha has a better solo catalog than Kiss, and he's the front man, and the Clipse have a better group catalog than the Lox, and the Lox are looked at as a top 10 group, and Kiss is looked at a top 10 MC. Don't you think that that's something that objectively belongs to the Clipse maybe more than the Lox? And there are a lot of groups like that, because here's the thing about it. I could tell you the same thing about Bone. I could tell you the same thing about EPMD. You feel what I'm saying? There are a lot of groups that Clipse are actually better than. If we actually gonna go check the rhyme, look at the group work, and go look at the solo catalog, oh no, they got a lot of niggas beat, including the Lox.
I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm saying they're both almost don't have enough there. You know what I mean? It's
no,
like
no. Hold on. A rapper having 4 solo albums is enough, because it's enough for us before they did anything in the 90s to put KRS and Kane and Cool G. Yeah, no, 4 solo rap albums is enough. That's
I'm just basing it off a 26-year tenure. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I'm saying, so now if we're going to do that, it's like, well, there's actual 4 solo group albums before this one. There's an album that didn't get released, so they got 4 solo group albums. This would actually make the 5th group album. There's about, I don't know how many mixtapes floating around from the Re-Up Game.
There's a lot of mixtapes.
But there's an official 4 Re-Up Game mixtapes, so that would make 8. Then there's 4 solo albums. That would make 12. So if we're talking 26 years, and there's the actual Re-Up Gang album that got released, that would make 13. So if you're talking 26 years, that's every 2 years you getting a product. That's a pretty good clip for a 26-year span. How many people can say that they really have average dropped a product from a camp to a project every 2 years for 26 years? Not a lot of people can say that.
What you got, Sean?
I don't know. I think that argument can go in so many circles. Kiss has way more range than Push. Way more range. Now Push has a better solo discography, but that's in a vacuum because he has a little bit less than what Jada has.
DMX has more range than Jay, but he not better than Jay.
I don't know if GMS have more range than Jay. Though.
Nah, I wouldn't say
that. Yes, he does. Yes, guys. Y'all, hold on. Y'all think that Jay has more range than DMX as an artist?
I do.
How? Jay has so many different pockets, man. Although
pockets, I'm not talking about deliveries and flows. I'm talking about actual like levels on which you can speak. Like you can speak as a pimp, a hustler, a gangster, a thief, a poet, a preacher. Like when you're speaking on certain levels, Jay don't speak on as many levels as DMX. DMX taps into the spiritual side of things too. Like y'all telling me Jay got more levels than DMX?
DMX is deeper, pause, but I don't know. That's a conversation for another day. We getting off track, you know.
I don't see it.
No, that's what I'm saying. Having more pockets doesn't mean like you know what I'm saying. Like what is it? Kiss having more pockets hasn't yielded better album solo or group.
He has way more range. He's done way more with giants beside him. We just said that.
Okay, Ab-Soul got more range than Schoolboy Q. Who's better?
But Push gets lost. You just said Push gets lost around other people. Jada doesn't have that problem.
Oh no, actually, sir, they actually suffer from the same thing. That was the problem on Bad Boy, and it was the same problem when they were under X's shadow. I've always brought this up. Part of the problem with the Lox was that for their coming out party, the best song on their debut album, The Scene Stealing Moments, don't belong to them. They belong to DMX and Lil' Kim. So actually, they're the victim of the same thing the Clipse are a victim of. They were around. Hold on. How are you going to say that they're not a victim of the same thing when they were around Puff and Big and Kim? Let's get real, people. Let's get real. How you going to be around Puff and Big and Kim and say that they didn't suffer the same fate? You think Pharrell's bigger than Puff? No. You think Jay bigger than Big? No. Not at that time. Not for who Big was to people.
Well, that's kind of an apples to oranges comparison because Big is one of the greatest MCs ever to live, and so getting outshined by another MC versus getting outshined by who's producing for you is a totally different bag.
A different monster. Totally different monster.
No, I'm not talking about getting outshined by the production. I'm talking about the affiliation, not the quality.
No, that's what we mean. Pharrell and Kanye, and you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you just said the notoriety of the producer is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Part of the notoriety that Big has is because he was next to Puff. We wouldn't know about the Lox if it wasn't for Puff. The same way we wouldn't know about the Clipse if it wasn't for Pharrell. What's the difference? Mary put the Lox on. That's what I'm saying. Like they've been under the same types of shadows. Like why are we acting like it's different?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a different scenario.
So
they both were under shadows, yes, but I think it's different shadows. I think it's an apples to oranges comparison, but I see what you're saying.
I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I really don't think it's a right or wrong answer.
No, I'm not talking right or wrong. I'm just trying to understand what the difference is because it seems like for me, y'all are trying to separate.
No, I'm putting them in the same boat. That was the whole premise of the whole, crux of my point. Like was, you asked where they rank. I said they're similar to the Lox, and the Lox are lauded. But when you really break it down, they don't have that much material out there over a long tenure, almost 30 years in the game. Lox got 4 albums, Clipse got 3 albums, and then a lot of their legend is based off the solo work that was brought to the table to supplement the group work that wasn't there. That was my point.
Okay, so for me, it's like their legends are both more in their mixtape work as solo artists because
that's a big part of it too.
Yeah, like when people like, how about this? The moment in the verses isn't from no album shit. It's Kiss doing the Who
mixtape
on the mixtape shit. It's the same thing for the Clipse, and that's what I'm saying. It's comparable for me with that.
Yeah, they're real set, but I get comparing groups versus duos. That's always hard for me to do.
But listen, we've all just said that it's comparable. The Clipse don't make any top 10 all-time rap group conversation. The Lox do. That's my point.
It's about
That's the whole.
It's
For me,
about
Clipse are top 10 though, so I can't relate to that. You know, to me, they're in my top 10 group.
But
Well, I
again,
mean,
guys,
also
it's
not
all
being funny. You are
about
from West, but you're from West Virginia. They are from Virginia. You might be a little biased.
Yeah, you should lean heavy over there. And we got a super chat from the LWell 100.
He said, "I don't know about that, Coop. East 1990 Turner is better than anything Clipse ever did." I would tell you that Hell Hath No Fury and East 1999 are comparable albums to me. I would probably lean towards Hell Hath No Fury, but that's probably about relatability of material.
The impact on East 1999 was crazy though.
Impact is crazy.
Oh, see, this is what I mean. That's why it's hard to beat a bone.
Shout out to LB in Cleveland.
Yeah, shout out to Cleveland.
That's why it's hard for Clipse to beat a bone, because niggas just be like, well, they ain't never made no East 1999 and made no Crossroads, sold no 4 or 5 million records. It's like, yeah, but everything else is better though. Like outside of that, everything else is better. Doesn't that make them better?
So cool. What would be your pillars? Your pillars of complete domination. If you had pillars, one would be discography, right?
Correct. Catalog matters to me. It always
catalog.
matters.
What would be the other?
Impact matters. I have Tupac so high because his impact matches up with the music.
Okay,
so catalog,
what else?
Impact, and I do think that where the Clips suffer most is impact. And I think this is where they really, really do suffer, because the other that supersede them, the impact is so much greater, because Bone did change things.
What else would you put in there? How about you two, AG? What else would you put in? Catalog, impact. What else?
MCing. I mean, we still listening to rhymes, so just like a solo.
All about the music.
Yeah. Music.
Production still matters. Like the same things that we want out of a solo MC, we want out of a group. I will say that, like in this case, chemistry matters, and that's what I mean. It's not like they don't have chemistry; they're brothers.
They got some of the best chemistry ever. Like
that's
great.
what I mean. They check a lot of boxes. Their chemistry is crazy. They're brothers, of course, and they complement each other well, because you do have the kind of ruthless, reckless younger brother with the conscious, meticulous, pragmatic older brother. It's a fit. It's not quite the peanut butter and jelly that Andre and Big Boy are, but it's a nice dichotomy. It's more appealing to me than EPMD.
That's fair. And I love EPMD, but that's fair.
Yeah. And I would tell you this, it's like, how about this? Well, and this is what I mean, that they're supposed to be like this version of Mobb Deep. Well, it's like, well, they've had Pharrell, so they've had somebody production-wise comparable to have it, but they have not made the infamous or Hell on Earth. And so that would be their thing. That's what's hurting them, because Hell Hath No Fury is their best thing, and I still do not think that that's better than Hell on Earth. I might take it over Murder Music. And so in Mobb's top 5 to me, like probably at 5. And so you're not even halfway to my top 5, so I understand people's thing with it, Like I understand.
Yeah, that's why that Locks album, that Locks comparison was more comparable, because I know you would take Hell Hath No Fury off of like over We Are the Streets or something like that, but any and every group that you've named, like the Wu, whether it's Wu, Outkast, hell, NWA, EPMD's, you know what I'm saying? You can't trump the classics that they put out. You know what I'm saying?
And you want to know what? I'll tell you this. I enjoy short players more than I enjoy long players. If you can get me to enjoy a long player, like, you have done something special. That's why I hold the Purple Tape so high. It takes a nation so high. It's like, oh no, you got me to listen to 17, 18 rap songs in a row and not do no other shit? That's hard to do for me. You got me for about 12, 13 songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did a few polls, guys, at the same time.
Clipse probably lost them all.
It was close. They were close.
They lost.
I put the Locks in Clipse. They got the Locks at 58% right now.
Yep.
Over the Clipse. Again, it's preference. I really think it's preference. I think it's preference. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to this. They're both dope groups. Clipse should be up there. I think Clipse, they're tap dancing on the top 10. But one day we're going to have to really do a show and break down like the actual nomenclature on how we're going to rate and rank people like that. Because if you got the pillars, if you're talking about catalog, impact, MCing, production, all of those things weigh. And there's gonna be some other things we have to take a look at weighing.
Yeah, I like break down, groups is like the sum of all the parts. Like if I'm comparing groups, I'm breaking it down like, okay, out of all the MCs involved, where am I ranking them? Like with the locks and the clips, I'm going Jada, Push, Styles, then Malice, then Sheik. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's what we're, know what I mean?
How about this? The group that I think about, it's like, well, Soul Food to me is better than anything the Clipse has made or is ever going to make, but the Clipse are a better group than Goody Mob.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, it just depends on what you weight.
Right. That's what I mean. It's like, oh no, you got to do more for me to make Soul Food or East 1999. That's like winning the championship one time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
but hopefully this album is, to your point, Coop, the level of that could be better than Hell Hath No Fury. You know what I'm saying?
I hope it's a culmination, a coronation ceremony of sorts. That's what I'm hoping that it is, where it's
that's what it will be.
Okay, they have 3 albums that are like up here. So it's like we can't ignore the fact that they done made 3 albums up here, and their 4th album is kind of like there's some really, really great stuff on Till the Casket Drops. It's just inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
But the stuff
I love
good.
Popeyes. Popeyes, my joint.
I say Popeyes. Never Will It Stop. The stuff that I was quoting. Doorman. No, there's stuff on Till the Casket Drops. It's like if that's gonna be their 4th weakest album, top 10 conversation.
Yeah. But if nothing else, they're great in the rollout and promotion. So you know what I'm saying? Like we got on sidebar. Let's talk about the controversy surrounding the album and shit.
We'll do a show on that on top albums. We'll break it down.
Let's talk about the controversy surrounding the album and them having to jump ship over to from Def Jam to Rock Nation.
So AG, real quick to that, I love the growth by them because when they went through this before between Lord Willing and Hell Hath No Fury, they went on a very We Are the Streets like fuck jive campaign. And so the fact that we weren't even privy to this information and that they've kind of kept it under wraps and made it more about a feature than label problems. But this is what I mean too, is that, well, why they keep having label problems?
Jive.
Like Def Jam /
Def Jam ain't been the best place to be for a lot of artists for a while.
I mean, that's true too. But what I'm saying, how about this? Ain't but so many times that it can keep happening to you, and you get to blaming everybody else for what's wrong. So
yeah, I mean,
so some of the problems with the notoriety and the notarization of this group is the refusal by, I believe, the younger brother to convalesce to anything. Like sometimes, like
he stood on business.
So this is what I'm saying. So standing on business is a dangerous thing. Sometimes the real gangster thing to do is to convalesce for the greater good, because there's more than your ego and your pride and your legacy at stake. So sometimes the convalescence is a good thing. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, it's not always good to be the super gangster that, I stood 10 toes down on this. That's that keeping it real going wrong shit. And they do have some keeping it real going wrong moments. You know what I'm saying?
It's a very fine line with that when you're talking about artistic integrity. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's artistic expression, and if that's what you want out to the people, especially if it's nothing there to be up in arms about, because the whole situation was based on the optics of Pusha and Kendrick being on a record together while they got the UMG lawsuit, open. Like, okay, this is not good for the optics of it. So if Kendrick doesn't say nothing Drake related, then it's really no harm, no foul, right? And it's even more nasty that, because it came out, Steven Victor, his Pusha's manager, said that they had to pay over 7 figures to get out the deal, that they wasn't in fact dropped. So they had to pay to get out the deal, but now they get picked up by Rock Nation in a distribution deal, but Def Jam still wants a piece of the pie when the album comes out. So it's like, that's nasty work, because you didn't want none of that when it was under your label, but you still want a piece of the money when it comes out somewhere else. I know business is business, but I mean, that's nasty work to me.
What's the Rome Street song go? It's based on the Tribe Called Quest quote. Rule number
40,
4,080. Record company
people shady.
people are shady. Right. So, with that being said, let's move up. Super chat. Say what again, mother? $10. The Clipse just don't get their just due. I think Pusha can hold his own against anyone. The Malice is scary. A lot of rappers don't want to rap next to them. And how is Q not number one on LA list? I mean, first of all, what type of LA list is this? And we'll go ahead and get to this in a minute.
Real quick before we slide to LA list, I do just want to say shout out to Jay, you know what I'm saying? Because people don't give Jay his credit, and I'll be one of them some of the time. But yo, man, he got Wayne out of his deal with Birdman, and he got this deal done in less than 24 hours. You know what I'm saying? To get them on Rock Nation for the distribution.
Now, when you were saying something, you wouldn't be talking about anybody on this show, would you?
No, Sean Carter. Like, you know what I'm saying? You look at Sean sitting back in his chair. He don't want to give Jay his respect or this one, but I'll be the one to do it. You have to get, you know what I'm saying, for these deals that Jay is pulling off, you have to give him his flowers on that. He got this done in less than 24 hours when the Clipse needed somewhere to go.
Now he may not be good at employing black people behind the scenes. Oh, but he know how to employ some black artists. Yeah, he do. Shout out to Jay.
Shout out to Jay.
You got Wayne out of his bad deal.
Yeah.
We got to keep it funky, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got nothing to say. Okay, where are we going next, guys? We going to this LA list and we want to do Fat Joe and Jada. How we feeling?
The super chat brought up the LA list. Let's go ahead and hit that.
Yeah.
Yay, my favorite thing. Kendrick. Okay. So Complex released another one of their whack ass lists. And on this version of their whack ass list, they are picking the top 50 LA artists. Is it just artists? Is it rappers? Like, what is this list? Because Dr. Dre's number 4 and Quick is number 6, and they're more producers than rappers. There's no Tupac on here. The Lady of Rage is on here, even though she's from Virginia. Corrupt's from Philly. This is very problematic.
That's why I was confused. I didn't know if it was
LA. Snoop's from Long Beach, nigga.
There you go. I think what they meant was a California list and not a LA list. I'm hoping that was a typo.
Where's 40 short? 40 short. Mac Dre Bay got no love.
They meant none of that. They use AI, ChatGPT or whatever they call it, and they put in there, come up with a list and just give it to us and we'll publish it. That's all they did. No, there's no physical body in the Complex magazine building right now. There's not a physical body there.
Okay.
There is someone
if there was a physical body, could catch a body. My young boy's doing it for cheap.
There's no physical body in there. There's an AI person in there, somebody doing AI stuff, saying, give me the most egregious list. Let's put it together and just throw it out there so people can talk about it. That's what's happening right now. Because it's not even an LA list.
No.
It's not even, it doesn't make sense. We're trying to parse it out like, oh, this is LA, is California. It's all the same, West Coast, whatever. It doesn't make sense.
Well, according to them, this is what they use. They use skill, strength of catalog, and commercial impact and lasting influence as their rubric.
AG, they said LA.
So to quote Sean, they use the AI generator.
They use the AI generator.
It's AI generator.
I can do that right now. AI generator, give me the most.
Look here. I guarantee you. Look. This is how it works too, and you got to understand how the algorithm works. I guarantee you, if you put in the AI generator, Sean, you can put it in right now.
Yeah.
Tell me the greatest MCs of all time. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it's gonna list. It's gonna list Tupac and Biggie, Jay and Nas, Eminem, Drake, and Kendrick. Sean, put it in. I get you. I bet you. I bet you. Whoa, hey, that's crazy.
Wow.
Hey. That's crazy. I'd like to apologize on behalf of the Black delegate.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That made me feel uncomfortable. Shit.
Yeah. Okay. Squirm a little bit.
First of all, you need to be worried about population control in West Virginia.
Because
Because
population is crazy.
apparently they've listened to too many Tupac CDs, like C. Dolores Tucker said, and have chosen
Oh man,
like extreme thug life at moments of academic success, achievement, and progression in life. All right, so Sean, any results?
So who's the greatest rapper of all time?
Yep. But say there are many rappers that are in the conversation for greatest rapper of all time, including the Notorious B.I.G., Tupac Amaru Shakur, Nasir Ben Olarudar's.
Yeah, it said many consider artists like Tupac Shakur, the Notorious B.I.G., Jay-Z, Nas, and Eminem as top contenders due to their significant contributions to hip hop. At least they put Nas in it. I mean, they should have led with Nas.
Nas is part of the algorithm of MCing, though. So he's in there because he's part of the algorithm because people like MC Nas.
If LT's watching this, there's no mention of Wayne.
Why do you get him started, man? Like, don't get LT started. But anyway, so
Get out the AI. Jump back out the AI, please. Back out.
So Game came out with his own list to dispute the Complex list because Complex had him at 11. So Game came out with his own list, right? And Game doubled down and did 100 instead of 50. But I find it interesting that Game safely put himself behind Kendrick at the number 5 spot. He put himself top 5, but he placed himself at the number 5 spot.
That's correct. That is correct.
I found that interesting.
No, that is correct. So here's what I will tell you. So we can go to Game's list right quick, but let's go to Complex list right quick because the thing is that Game actually has a legitimate reason to be pissed. So first of all, Tyler, Ice-T, and Be Real do not belong ahead of Game. Let's go and get that out the way. That's not a conversation. Tyler, the Creator, Be Real, and Ice-T are not ahead of Game. Are we all okay with that? Are we okay with that?
Listen, man, I don't have no love for the list. Doja Cat is above Crooked Eye, like 20 spots. I don't have anything to say.
More like 13 spots, but definitely ahead.
No, Doja Cat's 26, Crooked Eye's 46.
46? I thought it was 41. Oh, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Okay. That's crazy.
That is.
Hold on. So Tyler, Ice-T, Be Real. We're clear that the game's better than those guys, right?
Correct.
What about Easy and Nip?
I got Game above Nip. Easy too as an MC, but Easy's Legends more impactful. So,
right.
But that's a different conversation. That's a different criteria.
And I would put unless you're talking the production side of things too, I would put him ahead of Quick too.
Yes.
Yeah, and Easy didn't write his own rhymes anyway.
No.
Cube wrote those. And so actually when Game, and this is what I was about to say, when Game is putting himself at 5, guys, listen to what I'm saying. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. He's actually putting himself exactly where he belongs. That's actually where he belongs. He belongs at number 5. He belongs right behind Tupac, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, and Kendrick Lamar. He belongs at number 5. Yeah, right there.
Well, only 3 of those 5 are LA though.
Okay.
That's the crazy part.
You tell these LA niggas with they LA-based fucking trashy magazines or media, like, you tell them to work that out. I'm not in Cali. I'm in Atlanta.
Yeah, but that
1 through 6, west side to east side.
If it's me, Snoop's impact of his debut album holds him in such high regard. But if it's me, I'm going Pop, Cube, Kendrick, Game, then Snoop. But Snoop's impact is just so crazy.
See, this is what I'm saying. When people be talking about albums, it's like we just got done talking about It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Doggy Style's a level up from that.
It is.
It's different.
That shit is different.
It's different,
like,
man.
That one album. How about this? That's one album. No, that's Big Joker, Little Joker, Deuce of Diamond, Deuce of Spades.
Yeah, it has so much equity, but you can't tell me with a straight face Snoop is a better MC than Game. Like, he's just not.
He's not. But that's what I'm talking about. No, Doggy Style 4 books. Most of these niggas rap classics is 1 book. That's a 4 book. No, that's 4-5 albums worth.
Yeah.
That is, but there's only, guess what? There's only about 4 or 5 rap albums like that, and he's the
I
whole.
mean, it's weighted heavy because the Doggy Style is weighted more as that one classic than the Doctor's Advocate or the documentary put together. So it is what it is.
It's tricky. It's tricky because Game's discography is a strong discography, not just for the West Coast, but for hip hop
in general.
I
think he has a top 10 discography all the time.
Strong discography.
No, his discography is better than Snoop's discography. But, but Game's best 3 albums ain't better than Doggy Style. That's what I'm saying.
No,
like
I think the only people ahead of Game in the discography department are Nas, Jay, Scarface, Ghostface, Common, Ice Cube, Pop. I'm at 7.
You could take Game's best 4 albums
Kendrick.
and pull the best songs from them, and it would still lose to Doggy Style like 10-4.
Absolutely. But I'm just saying, like, people don't respect Game enough. Like, he do some wild stuff, he do some wild antics, but I mean, I think he don't get the credit he deserves.
I think that's all the campaigning on social media. I think, quite frankly, in various ways. That's the Twitter blast, the IG pictures of him, showing off and all. You know what
Oh, real quick. I just had a real quick Kendrick thought. We moved on from this topic, but I forgot it in real time. With the controversy about the Pusha T thing and that record, I just wanted to ask y'all this real quick. That was Def Jam in response to UMG putting pressure on them. They didn't want the Clipse to have that feature on the record. You know what I'm saying? So it ended up, the situation ended how it did. If the roles were reversed on Interscope, Kendrick is going to put out GNX, but got Pusha T as a feature. Do you think UMG applies that same type of pressure to Interscope for Kendrick to drop Pusha T from the song? Yes or no?
I think in this climate, yes. With everything going on right now, you got to think about the reason why they push back on this. You got this litigation hanging over their heads right now.
And it is that censored portion on Whacked Out Murals that, that somebody censored. We don't know what he said, but somebody censored that before it came out.
Right. Yeah.
I just find that interesting.
We got some super chats real quick. Did we get this one already?
Yeah, go ahead.
Deuce.
Yeah, Deuce Falco, what up, bro? $10 super chat. Complex has always been trash. True. I pay no mind to that list. Yeah, that's a fact.
It was CJ.
CJ, shout out CJ.
I got you, AG. Feel free to ignore this, but Rum Nitty just dished Joey live on a freestyle at Funk Flex. On another note, on topic, will you guys do your own list? First of all, CJ, shout out to you. Second of all, we are going to ignore that they just did that shit on Flex. Thank you for letting us know so that we can let our people know that we will be ignoring that shit. And we might possibly be doing our own list. Thank you for your contributions. CJ, Mad Max in the building. Must be tired of slumming with the poppers. Okay, Snoop should have been one. Snoop, the only MC that has 2 top 10 albums where he the main MC on the album. See, you've been hanging out with them poppers. Your grammar and your diction is very, very poor.
Talking about the Chronic. Okay.
Chronic. That's
on the album.
Yeah.
Snoop gave the
Chronic
West a
said, never mind. Forget what I said. Game at 5.
Came from Cali since he debuted. Stop it.
That's a great point. That's a great point. Like Snoop,
I told you the Chronic and Doggy Style are rap cheat codes.
Yeah, forget what I said. Game should be at 5, but still, this is supposed to be an LA list. Snoop shouldn't even be on there. So
who should? I mean, we do our own list at some point.
I thought about it. It's just like you would have to treat it the same way we treat the boroughs, the same way we treat the zones. It's like no, like niggas is from Long Beach. Niggas is from Compton. Niggas is from Watts, Inglewood.
Yeah, they just need to say Cali list, man.
Right. If you're going to do a Cali list, do a Cali list. That's why we do an Atlanta list, because it's like if we was really like start being like, oh, we going to do like the city of Atlanta, first of all, list wouldn't be shit. because it go by zones down here, same way it go by boroughs up there. It's like, well, they sets work a little bit differently out there, but no, like Inglewood, not all parts of Inglewood and Watts and Crenshaw. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas claim different shit out there, like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like, where you from? I'm from East LA. Oh, I don't fuck with you, nigga. Okay.
You got the whole Bay. You got the whole Bay area. Like,
Got a whole area. You got people like Ab from Carson. You know what I'm saying? Like, where does Ab fit into the equation? Carson ain't nowhere near LA, nigga. All right, gentlemen.
Let's go to the
Fat
producer.
Joe. Yep, Fat Joe and Jadakiss listed their top 5 producers. So want to let people know, Fat Joe's list was good. Jadakiss's list wasn't. All right, go.
Joe got the list. I'm not gonna lie.
Joe got the list.
Got Primo, Dre,
Joe list is a banger. Joe list is a banger.
And here's the thing, Joe.
I don't know what Jada's list is.
Jada's list is okay, but it shows.
Jada was weird about it though.
He was. He was showing. Yeah.
He acted like he didn't want to pick.
He didn't want to have the conversation. He acted like he didn't want to have the conversation. Ag.
He didn't want to disrespect anybody. He leaned into that. He didn't want to disrespect anyone, any DJ that he worked with, or what have you. So
can I say something real quick? Like, you know, Jada's my guy, but I saw somebody tweet that this is proof why Jada can't make a classic solo album.
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw that too, and I kept moving.
Yo, that took me all the way out, bro.
Let's think about Joe's strength. Joe's strength in his catalog is his production. Joe got some great production.
He got a great ear.
Okay. So Sean, get out my head. So low key, I said to myself, no, if you would have listened to Fat Joe, you would have had a better career. You would be a top 10 MC, probably a top 5 MC. Joe picked better beats than you. Joe know what the fuck he talking about when it comes to this beat shit. You don't, nigga, because you want to know what? You did the shit the niggas from the block normally do. That's my man. I came up with him. Didn't nobody ask you that shit, nigga?
Swiss.
Didn't nobody ask you. Respectfully, didn't nobody ask you if you came up with this nigga? We asked you who the top 5 producers were. I came up with them. See, that loyalty shit is why your catalog don't sound the way that it should. It's the reason it's the reason Kevin Garnett only got 1 ring. That loyalty shit will have you fucked up out here. That loyalty shit to the wrong thing will have you fucked up out here.
What said loyalty will get you killed.
That loyalty have you fucked up out here. This is crappy.
Swizz was first one. Shout out to Swizz.
This list.
Shout out to Trice. Trice loves Swizz.
This list by Jadakiss is gonna get blitzkrieg. Talking about some Scott Storch, Pharrell, and Timbaland, and Just Blaze and Swiss versus Preem versus.
I don't see how he left out Alchemist. He gave him an honorable mention when Alchemist gave him his biggest record.
Hold on. First of all,
2 biggest records. No, it's 1 biggest record.
Preem on some rap shit might beat all these guys by himself. Preem on some rap shit might beat all these guys by himself.
Yeah.
Preem, Dre, RZA, Kanye, and Havoc, and you have the audacity. You have the audacity with a straight face to say Swiss, Pharrell, not Neptunes, but Pharrell. Not Neptunes, but Pharrell.
Scott Storch.
Scott Storch on some petty shit because he was talking about Dre and the thing. Don't nobody give a fuck about them keys. Yeah. Dr. Dre said, play those keys. That's what Chris the Glove taught me. Dr. Dre said, play those keys. Okay, yes, sir. That means Dr. Dre is the executive producer. Give a fuck about no Scott Storch versus no Dr. Dre. What is this nigga thinking? Yeah. That would explain these beats. That's exactly what I thought, AG. Fuck what the nigga saying on the meme. Coop thought in real time. I said that would explain these beats. I said that would explain all these 3.5 hours. I said that would explain all these 3.5 mic ass albums with all these stellar bars on them. I said here it is right here. I said here it is right here. I said this is bullshit. That's what it is.
Yeah, Fat Joe's 5 is my top 5 producers. If I'm putting together my 5, I got RZA at 1, Premier at 2, Dre at 3, Kanye at 4, Havoc at 5. He got my top 5 right there.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong.
What you got?
I really got his, but I wanted to kind of switch it up a little bit. I wanted to do a Track Masters as my number 5 because I always felt that Track Masters did some phenomenal work in the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
They don't get the credit they deserve.
They don't get the credit they deserve. That's a group conversation. You're wrong. We can have a group producer conversation. You're wrong. It's not Track Masters. But
Track Masters, definitely one of those.
Okay.
Definitely. But definitely, I mean, the more I look at Joe's list, I'm like, I will pick that list too. I don't see no one to take off the list.
But Joe tried to go 1 for 1, and Jada was like, nah.
First of all, Joe,
that's Jada's fault.
The point where I really got upset with Jada was the point where Joe literally stopped him and said, "Hey, you know, you can pick him too." And he was like, "Nah." I said, "Yeah, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5, 3.5." I said,
and it made me mad that he didn't pick Alchemist. Alchemist gave him "We Gonna Make It." That's your best record ever, and you didn't pick Alchemist.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to agree with Fat Joe on his first 3 selections: Dre, Preem, RZA, 1, 2, 3. That's my, I'm cool with that. However you want to parse out that 3. But I will tell you, I can't put Havoc ahead of Q-Tip because Q-Tip taught Havoc how to do drums, and Q-Tip, as much as I love the infamous, the Low End Theory is comparable. And if we just splitting hairs, seeing how Q-Tip did Drink Away the Pain and give up the goods on the infamous, if you were to take those records off the infamous, well, it's not a conversation between the infamous and the Low End Theory anymore. You feel me? Right. Like, it's not a conversation.
I love Tip, but I'd rather listen to Havoc production any day over Tip. That's just my bag. That dark, eerie bag, I'd rather listen to.
No, me too. No, as a producer, in terms of beat style that I like, I prefer Havoc. But I'm looking at this objectively, and I say to myself, well, your magnum opus is the infamous, and a guy has another magnum opus that's comparable to your magnum opus, but he got 2 production credits on your magnum opus, did one of the 3 to 5 best records on your magnum opus,
right,
and taught you how to program drums. I can't put you ahead of that guy, so I got Q-Tip at 4.
Yeah, and Q-Tip was shifting a sound on the East Coast when Dre was shifting the sound on the West Coast.
And I will tell you this: well, the Low End Theory and the infamous might be a conversation for some people, and even me personally, I actually prefer the infamous. But there ain't no conversation between Midnight Marauders and Hell on Earth. I'm sorry, guys. It's not a conversation. That's not a conversation. It can be a personal conversation, but objectively, Midnight Marauders is in a class of
those
classic
2
albums.
Yeah.
Right. Midnight Marauders is in a classic album that Hell on Earth is not held in. And so seeing out, and then you start going into the fact it's like, well, People's Instinctive has Can I Kick It? Benita Applebaum, I Left My Wallet in El Segundo. Not only did he put Havoc on, he helped put Dilla on too. It's like, nah, Q-Tip. And then after that, I'll tell you, I have DJ Paul and Havoc at a tie, and I'll tell you why. When I listen to the Southern sound today, mostly what I hear is DJ Paul. When I listen to the East Coast sound today, most of what I hear is Havoc. And so based on the classic material that they did in their prime, and the fact that they are the 2 most influential producers to me sound-wise from our generation, from the regions that I listen to most of the music from, I would put them at a respective ties for 5th. And that's where I have it.
Who would be your undisputed number 1? Like your personal number 1, not... I'm talking about your personal, what you would.
It depends what I want. Do I want to beat the rap to for a song to catch a verse off of? Do I want to do an album? It depends what I want. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm just going off contribution to hip hop, and I think RZA ranks number 1.
I'm about to say if I actually want to beat, I want a prime RZA beat.
Yeah.
Like if I want to beat, I want to rhyme over like Incarcerated Scarfaces. Yeah. Or shadow boxing or living in the world today. Those are the beats that I
listen to what that evokes in you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when Styles P did the Jim Jones disc on that, and you hear the guillotine beat, you automatically like, how
about this? Like Outkast and Nas made me want to rap, but I wrote all my first shit to RZA's beats because that's the shit that like the fire
and it was,
under your ass.
And it's so unorthodox.
It was just, but that's what I mean. It's such an abstract piece of creative genius that the writer in you, it ignites like a piece of your brain where you're just like, oh my God, like I could just write to this shit all night. That's what I mean. So when you're hearing it's like when you're hearing Wu-Tang Clan early on, it's like, man, it sounds like these dudes been rhyming all night. It's like, no, they were rhyming all night to those beats. They were.
And for your point with Havoc and Q-Tip, although RZA didn't have Kanye under his tutelage directly. Kanye is off the RZA tree, as Sean would say. Talk about the tree. Kanye is another top 5 producer. And if we're breaking down, like we're saying Primo, RZA, Dre, Kanye, and whoever you want to throw at 5, RZA is the only one of them to have another top 5 producer off his tree.
It's crazy.
I think Q-Tip and Havoc is in that conversation. See, okay, so how about this? This is what I'm saying. So how about this? Q-Tip is higher because you're right about the RZA to Kanye thing. But I would tell you, oh no, there's a little bit of Q-Tip to Kanye.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Q-Tip got Dilla and Havoc, and that trumps what RZA has with Kanye, because in Dilla and Havoc, he has 2 other guys in the top 10, including him. That's 3 of your top 10.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And so that's what that's why I mean, it is like, oh no, I can't put Q-Tip. No, I can't take Q-Tip outside of the 5, and I got to put him higher.
That would be tough. Yeah, because
right.
he's a
like
pillar.
Think about this. Like think about this. We might not get Havoc or Dilla at their best if not for Q-Tip, and we got Q-Tip. That's Q-Tip.
Exactly.
Yeah, we did the whole show on this. Remember, we did the whole like tutelage, like, you know what I'm saying, producer joint. You know what I'm saying? So
and you got to think about the fact that it's like, well, how about this?
Smack the shit out of this camera.
Do you think I'm joking? There's been one fruit fly for about 3 hours flying around my Cabernet. All right. And I don't want him getting in this shit because this is a 2019. I've waited 6 years to crack this bottle. And he's not going to ruin the moment for me. It's excellence from Russian River Valley. Do a nice high acidity. Good bright right fruit for a Cabernet. Shit is
great
ridiculous.
Elevation.
It is great elevation in Russian River Valley. See, somebody well-traveled like Sean understands what I'm putting down. Well-traveled. Understand what I'm putting down. Yeah, little North Napa on that ass. Yes, little North Napa on that ass. Correct. All right. Back to hip-hop talk. Cabernet, Russian River Valley, Napa Valley, tutorial early. AG. Okay, first of all, AG, y'all have elevation too. It's just they're growing marijuana. They're not fucking
it's wrong elevation.
No,
they got
no. I went to college with 2 of the 17 white girls that live in West Virginia, and they used to bring
2 of the 17
all the time. They used to bring marijuana all the time.
That's our main population here. What you mean?
That's the main population.
Y'all are breeding them like cattle. I heard.
That's crazy.
Heard it's livestock up there. Okay, get you well fed, well bred with it.
Look at AG.
AG is like due to implications because of where I live. I cannot comment any further. Coming out. AG signing on.
Roll your eyes now, AG. What you got to say?
No, but
I'm still thinking about Coops back in the flower of the screen.
The fruit fly's been running wild in here. He's been running amok. He's trying to get to the cab.
Yeah,
it's one fruit fly.
Old bananas.
But here's the thing, how about this? When we're doing this talk and we're having this dialogue, notice we're not discussing any producers from Jadakiss's list. Okay, thank you and good night.
I mean, you can go Swizz. No, I'm kidding. No, but not because
as high as you would start is Pharrell and Timbaland, like Just and Swizz and Scott ain't making no.
I like Timbaland more for R&B than I do for hip hop.
Well, that's because his best stuff is with Aaliyah and Genuine and Missy.
Right. Because you got to think about it. Timbaland, I would have to both of you guys' credit, I would have Timbaland outside that top 5. But I don't see Timbaland as a pillar because Timbaland, he comes from the tree of
he's not an architect. Correct.
He comes from
Teddy Riley.
He comes from an R&B tree. He comes from an R&B tree.
Yeah. My favorite person off Jadakiss list is Just Blaze, and Just Blaze hasn't crafted a classic album from front to back himself. He hasn't him that on his.
How about this? That's the whole point. If Just is the best hip hop producer on your list, I'm not even sure if Just cracked top 20.
That's disrespectful though, bro. I ain't doing that. He just outside of my top 10, but not top 20 is crazy, dude. That's like you can said a lot of disrespectful things on this show. That might be the one.
No.
You only still think because Just lost.
Hold Hold on. Oh no. I'm about to be disrespectful then. Hold on. No, hell no. Damn that. We about to be disrespectful.
You might be
There
on
are
the
20.
same, AG.
Hold on. Nuh-uh. Yeah, hold on. I think I am on to something. First of all, let's go ahead and get this out the way. Dre,
I
correct?
swear to God, I hope that fly land right on your paper, Coop.
Okay. Damn all that.
No,
You
not
better
better.
hope a fly. You better hope a fly land on Just Blaze drum machine and change that beat pattern.
All
And
right,
got him
so
inside the
we
top
we
20.
naming people better than Just. All right, you got Dre, you got Premier, RZA, Kanye, Havoc, Q-Tip, Dilla,
Dilla.
Pete Rock,
Yep. Large Pro.
Large Pro. I think
Kanye.
Hit Boys passed Just Blaze.
Yeah,
That's
diversity.
correct.
Kanye, you got Kanye on there?
Yeah, said that.
Kanye on there.
I think you have to give the nod to Pharrell for producing a hip hop classic, but that was as the Neptunes versus himself.
So are we leaving groups out, or are we just doing we're just doing solo guys, right?
Let's just go solo, guys. But I have a hard
DJ
time because
Quick.
Hell Have No
DJ
Fury is a classic. But
DJ Quick.
yeah, Quick, you got to go above Just
Quick.
Blaze. Yeah.
DJ Paul.
What about Daz? What do you think?
Yep. Daz did the beats on All Eyes on Me, and he made Dog Food, and he
yes,
Doggy
he did.
Style.
He did.
Yeah.
did.
Doggy Style,
did.
Dog Food, All Eyes on Me. Yes.
All right.
Yes, yeah.
So where we at? How many you got?
Hold on.
Dilla.
Hold on. Wait.
I said Dilla.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're already 12 in, guys.
Okay. We got Havoc on
Did you put Hit Boy?
Yep. Marley, guys. Marley.
Do you got what about Metro? Would you put Metro over Just Blaze?
I have Metro over him. Yeah. I have.
I don't personally, but I'm
not.
not mad at you doing that.
No, Metro. I'm sorry. Metro's catalog is just better at this point. It just is.
What hurts Just Blaze? He hasn't produced that album himself from front to back. He's contributed to classic albums.
And it's the same thing with Metro, except for Metro shit slaps harder, lasts longer.
Yeah, Just almost comes off like a placement producer. I hate to say, but
y'all are cool. Y'all are cool with Marley Marl being ahead of Just, right?
Yeah.
Right. Alchemist.
Yes, I forgot about definitely Alchemist.
Eric
Sermon.
Yep. E-Dub.
Yeah.
Hold on, guys. DJ Muggs.
I'm not going that far, bro.
Okay.
I'm not doing that.
It's a conversation.
Bro. I'm not putting Muggs over Just Blaze, bro.
Highs are higher. It's so high. It's higher than Muggs.
Battle Cat.
No.
Diamond D.
No.
Buck Wild.
No.
Stevie J.
No.
Whoa. Wait.
Right. I would stop with the Stevie J thing. I would stop for a second.
Wait, AG.
Yep.
This is Stevie J.
That's your homie, Sean. I know, but no.
Hey, get your personal feelings in a little.
Yeah, man.
Hey, don't let your feelings drag on.
All right, how much is Hitman versus Stevie J by himself? How much is Hitman versus Stevie J by himself?
It is Hitman. Stevie J is the Hitman.
Okay, so
if that's the case, then we got to put Nasheem Myrick over him too. Like we got to do both.
That's why I brought up Nasheem. I would bring up Stevie. I would bring up Derek D. Nasheem
D. Yeah. But I'm looking at them like more of a collective, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Listen.
No, they worked in the same rooms, but they never made beats together like that.
Right, but name all the joints that Stevie J got that's better than Just Blaze catalog.
I can name a few of them. Give me 1 second.
Name a few of them. I think
if you gotta Google it, then shit. Like I can say song cry, throwback, breathe.
I want to make sure that
like you don't know, like you know what I'm saying.
No, I want to make sure that just him because he did a lot of joints for Biggie. AG.
I'm not gonna front the Stevie J Biggie joints is about to hurt Just.
Even if it's a conversation, I don't think y'all could just say like nonchalantly Stevie over Just like that. That's wild.
Okay, so
bro.
hold on. So let's see where we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Where y'all got Swiss?
Oh, hold on. First of all, Manny's better.
I was going to ask y'all that.
I would have to give it to Manny. I like Blaze a lot more than Manny, but being objective, you have to go Manny.
I'm sorry, Manny got Just beat on the drums.
Yeah.
Beat on the hits. Got Manny
just on the work, the bodies of work. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm talking like actual beats, drums, which is just a specialty.
He don't get brought up enough, but where do y'all got 40?
I got 40 above Just too. He is.
Mm.
He
Boy
is.
Wonder.
No,
Where do you got Swiss?
not ahead of Just.
Yeah, I can't put him there either.
Oh, Buck Wild.
I said no to Buck Wild.
Man.
I think Bink is a conversation, but I'll still go with Just.
Lord
Stevie,
Finesse.
man. I'm just
I still got Just.
Oh, you got Just over Lord Finesse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Rick Rubin.
Come on, dog. Like,
I
I mean, I understand what Rick did, like for the game, but come on, dog. We're not gonna do that right now. If y'all sit up here and argue Eminem with me, we were not about to like put Rick Rubin like on this list. Like, y'all be arguing me down about some Eminem, and we not about to do this with Rick Rubin and put him on there like that. Y'all niggas is bugging.
I got two for you. I got two for you via the chat. Mad Lib.
I love Mad Lib, but I'm not putting him over Just.
I'm taking both of those guys over Just.
Mad Lib and who?
Easy Mo B, sir. The guy who did the beats on Ready to Die.
Yeah, Easy Mo B. I probably got to do that one.
Yeah,
I probably got to do. Yeah, Easy Mo B, yes. Mad Lib, I'd say no. But what's that, like 18?
Hold on. You think Just is better than Mad Lib?
I got Just higher. Yeah, but Easy Mo B, I got to concede to that one.
Let's see where we at. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're at 19, sir.
Yeah, you're proving your point, Coop. But my thing is, what hurts Just Blaze is he's contributed to a lot of classic albums. He just don't have the album himself. His greatest claim to fame is contributing like a third of the Blueprint. But he did 75% of Philadelphia Freeway. You know what I'm saying? So
that might have been his best production contribution, actually, in terms of a cohesive.
And Sean gonna hate on me when I say this, but his contribution to the Bleak Made album, I think
Made is a good album.
Made is super dope. Sean just a Bleak hater, man.
Made is Bleak's best album.
Bleak did a fire off the porch concert joint, by the way. But like that Made album
you all
is
that
dope.
AG. Let's not go too far.
Yeah.
I'm a habitual line stepper. Listen, Bleak is dope, but Made might be that or Philadelphia Freeway is his best work. You know, of course he had the Saigon album. We never got the J Electronica album fully produced by Just Blaze.
It never got released.
Right. So that hurts him a lot. So, you know, I have to stand corrected. Like, it is a push for him to get in the top 20. But
here's where he's not getting in, because guess what? Even the guys that we name from Jada's other list, it's like, well, you do understand that I just named 19 people and I didn't name Pharrell or Timbaland, so he already out.
Right. And then, you know, Sean's still over there Googling Stevie J, and we didn't even Google him.
What did Stevie J produce? But out of curiosity, what did Stevie J produce, though, Sean?
He had Notorious Thugs.
Oh, that's heavy.
That by itself clears.
That's heavy.
That clears a lot.
Yeah.
That clears a lot.
The weird thing.
Give us more. No. Give us more. Keep going.
The weird thing about Stevie, he has a lot of R&B stuff. He has a lot of R&B classics. So he's almost in that Timbaland-ish area code.
Didn't he do Hypnotize though?
He did Hypnotize. He did Lucky Me by Jay.
I love that song.
Lucky Me.
He
That's
did
Jay's favorite song on Volume 1.
I'll be missing you, fellas. He actually did the instruments of I'll Be Missing.
I get that, but let's put some respect on Just Blaze's name for doing like Breathe, like You Don't Know. You know what I'm saying? Just Fire the ROC joint. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know is the moment.
He did more.
What we do is what we do off the Philadelphia.
Hold on. Stop. You telling me he did Hypnotize?
Oh boy.
Hold on. If Stevie J did Hypnotize, More Money, More Problems, Notorious Thugs, Niggas Bleed, did he do those records?
Yes. Play Your
Niggas
Hater.
Bleed is the one.
Play Your Hater, Niggas Bleed.
Hold on. Think about this, AG. If he's literally doing Niggas Bleed, Notorious Thugs, and Hypnotize, that's pretty much covering everything. And that's just from one project.
Right. But I mean,
That's heavy.
Just Blaze.
Yeah,
Like we naming Stevie J stuff.
That make me want to look up Stevie J. What other shit Stevie J
I
got?
told y'all, man. I was listening to a Stevie J. But
I don't know if that's heavier than what Justice produced, though. Is what I'm saying.
AG, that's heavy, bro. You talking about the bangers from?
We said Pete Rock, DJ all day. We said
the bangers.
Yeah, I said Pete Rock. Yeah.
Life After Death. These are the bangers that made Life After Death, bro.
Do you put any of those over You Don't Know by Jay?
No.
Do you put any of the songs that you just named over Breathe by Fabulous?
Yeah.
I like Niggas Bleed and Notorious Thugs more than Breathe by Fabulous. Yeah.
Okay, fair. All right, now we got What We Do is by Freeway, Beans, and Jay.
Yeah, More Money, More Problems.
I'll take Notorious Thugs over that, but I'm not taking the other ones over it.
Then you got Just Fire, the ROC joint.
I'm not big on that beat like everybody else is.
Yeah. All right.
It's dope, but it's not special to me, if that makes
sense.
PSA special. Mm-hmm.
That's on Song Cry.
No. He's special on the Blueprint. He's got special stuff. I'm not saying like just ain't special. Just
I'll put Victory over it. He did Victory.
Victory's crazy. Victory is one of my favorite songs of all time. It might crack my top 10 all time list. I ain't got nothing bad to say about Victory.
I don't know. It's like how about this? Stevie J was Puff's hit man.
If Victory come on, I might snuff somebody. Like that's how I feel about Victory. Like if I see somebody I don't like when Victory's on, I might snuff them. Like that's the kind of vibe that I get from Victory.
Ooh, hold on. Somebody else in the chat. Hold on. Ninth Wonder, Zaytoven. No, Zaytoven played.
See, y'all going too far in the chat. No, this is where this segment need to end.
No, Zaytoven know my.
What North Carolina people other than Coop we got in the chat like to say Ninth Wonder over Just Blaze. And I love the listening, the minstrel show, all that. Don't get it twisted. But come on, y'all.
Be kind of nice.
Is LT in the chat with Ninth Wonder? That's North Carolina talking right there.
LT, man.
Somebody said Zaytoven.
Yo, man.
No.
Look.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, hell no. Like, no.
Yo, Stevie J did.
Zaytoven can play though. You know he plays real instruments.
Cool, but no.
Every instrument actually.
But no. The answer is still no. But yeah, Coop, you proved your point though. It's a fight for him to get in the top 20, but his biggest Achilles heel is he doesn't have the album. Like, everybody else you name has an album to their credit.
But I'm gonna tell you what part of his problem is though, and this is what I'm saying. You're saying Battle Cat's not better. Battle Cat produced. Hold on. Who produced that death certificate? Not Battle Cat. Pooh.
You talking about the whole album?
Yeah, death certificate.
Oh, no, Battle Cat didn't produce that. Shit.
Who produced that? Who did produce that? Death certificate. Hold on.
Is that DJ Pooh?
Not all of it. Some of it.
Not all of it. Most of it. Some of it. That's what I'm saying. He got a lot of guys. Like there are a lot of guys out here. Like you're gonna be hard pressed to tell some of these niggas that he's better than Buck Wild and Lord Finesse. That's what I'm saying. That's more of the category. Like there are people that swear by those guys.
Yeah, but just the stuff just got in his catalog is real heavy.
He lost.
Even when Fat Joe mentioned Diamond D, I thought about that for a
second.
Shut up,
Sean. He did lose the Swiss Beat. But all right, let's clear one thing up. The only reason why he lost the Swiss Beats in that beat battle is because Swiss played an unreleased record that featured Nas, Jay, DMX, and Jadakiss. I don't care if he was battling Dr. Dre that night.
Sir,
if he plays a record with them four on it, he's going to win.
Sir, when you have trump cards and it's time to play spades, that's what you do.
Why he didn't play You Don't Know?
But it wasn't about the beat, y'all. Be for real. It was about whose vocals was on the track.
Okay, let's be honest.
And not for nothing, Swiss is one of the best salesmen in the world. He could be playing a trash beat, and he sells it well.
Hey, look here. Once upon a time, the DJ was the thing, okay?
Yeah.
But did nobody outside of New York know no goddamn Eric B until he found Rakim? Didn't nobody know no goddamn DJ Polo outside of New York till he found Cool G Rap? Seeing what I'm saying?
So you telling me Swiss? Is better than Just Blaze?
What I'm saying is that even when you were the DJ/producer, oh no, when you got the guy with the talent That's the shit that tips the scales. And all Swiss did was like, hey, I got a record with 4 of the 20 greatest MCs of all time on it. Beat that.
That's a cheat code.
That's what I'm saying. How many guys got a record like that? He cheat coded them. He deserves the victory.
But you know why he has a record like that? The thing you said you hated at the beginning of the segment. I came up with him. That's the only reason why he was able to get all 4 of them on the same track. Their loyalty to Swizz. And you said it yourself, you hated that part of it. Did you not?
Yeah, that loyalty shit will get you killed, not him killed. He just won the battle.
Yo, Fourth Disciple.
I said that loyalty shit will get you
all right,
killed.
so it's time to move on. I love Killer Army like the next man, but if you gonna sit up here and say Fourth Disciple is better than Just Blaze, I might smack my phone like Coop just did. We need to move on.
If you say Killer Army one more goddamn time during this show,
we need to move on.
No, we are not gonna. No. You two listen to me. We are not gonna transition from some Capadonna shit to some Killer Army shit. We are not doing that. We are not going from Capadonna to Killer Army.
I didn't bring up Capadonna. Sean talk about Fourth Disciple.
I'm just traumatized at this point, and so
True Master.
I'm just worried. True Master is not better than Just Blaze.
No,
my bad. No. Shout out to True Master.
Yeah, what about Lex Luger? Lex Luger? Lex Luger?
No.
But it's a battle.
The wrestler, no.
I finally killed him. He's dead. Look at God.
He just dropped dead when you asked Lex Luger. Like he just fell out of the sky.
I just popped his ass with this bar spoon.
That's Hooger.
Popped his ass with this bar spoon.
Who put the spoon away? You think you're on the Matrix gonna bend the spoon?
I think we named Pete Rock already. I think we had Pete Rock.
We said Pete Rock.
Yeah. We said PR. I got PR down.
Did we say Large Pro?
Yeah.
Large Pro's down.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah, we got our hitters.
I'm pretty sure Sean said LES.
I won't be mad at that.
Stop, man. This is not where you get the money. LES, LES, but he's not better than Just Blaze.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think y'all was a little disrespectful to Muggs, but I'm gonna let it slide.
That's AG.
I'm gonna have a little victory sick for this.
Put it on me. I don't care. Like he's not better than Just Blaze.
I wish this fruit fly was still breathing so I could pour a little wine on it.
Fourth Disciple is
what you was trying to get.
All right, Sean. Fourth Disciple.
All right, last topic. It's time to get out of here.
I think that was the last one.
Y'all are ridiculous. Nah, the game Jadakiss thing was the last one.
Oh,
okay. Correct.
Yeah, we did say trap masters, but we talking about individuals.
Individuals, right. You
want to know what I'm saying?
A good bonus show would be for us to like have the our rubric, our pillars, and to like build out a top 25 producer group and solo list.
All right, let me ask y'all both one question real quick before we move on. If you all could make, your own personal album, let's say 12 to 14 tracks or whatever, even if Just Blaze is not top 20 on your list, you mean to tell me that like he ain't gonna leapfrog a bunch of those guys you named to get one of those placements on your album?
No, I don't need them.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Also, too, Jermaine Dupri is better.
I don't believe either one of you, but go ahead.
Okay. Jermaine Dupri is better.
Jermaine Dupri is better.
He make
R&B, yes. R&B, not on rap.
Both.
It's not Remy.
No, Sean, come on, bro. I'm a Nas fan, but don't. No,
hold on. So I did some of the stuff on the score too.
No.
I don't know. I got JD, Timberland, and for. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's gonna be.
He got Made You Look, but no.
It's gonna be tough for just to make the top 25. AG. Like, listen to this. Okay, so listen to this. Stop that. Okay. Okay, this has been another great episode of Hip Hop Talk.
You made the cross.
We need to cross that record out of Godson.
Whoa! No, don't do that.
I actually like that record.
Yeah. I'm trying to trigger AG. Really trying to trigger AG.
Okay, we got 22 producers. We got 22 producers ahead of Just right now, so Just is at 23 at best right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it would be a hard press to, let him make the top 20. So you prove that. But I think that's mostly behind the album thing. He doesn't have an album that he can say, look, I produced this whole album. That's a classic.
That's
Just
what I'm
about
saying.
everybody you put in the top 20 has that to their resume.
Including Jermaine Dupri with Funknified by the Brat.
He did. And Chris
That's what I'm
Cross.
saying.
All right, so
Jermaine
Game
Dupri
and
do gotta be.
Jadakiss.
And Chris Cross.
Game.
Hey, first of
Sean,
all, as an Atlanta native, they are from the east side. The bomb
Sean,
was
man.
down. Yeah, it was. Get down.
I can't deal with
Ain't
y'all,
nothing to
man.
mess around. When the brat tat tat tats all up in your town. I'm in the front with a blunt, never playing the back. It's that new nigga on the block, and I don't slap tat out now. I know you love how. No. The Funknified classic.
Yeah.
Classic.
Just don't have that.
Just don't have no Funknified. He don't.
You don't have a Chris
That's what I'm
Cross.
saying. It's
All right,
hard
man.
out here for
Y'all
a
got
pimp. It's hard
Y'all
out
got it.
here.
Cooper on here
pimp.
quoting the Brat bars.
Okay.
Y'all got it.
Okay,
I don't know what to tell you.
First of all, what you need to do is just blaze.
Y'all disrespectful, man. Just is dope.
Got him.
Look here. Go listen to Dirty Diana, Beautiful Ones, and Cold Blooded in a row. You'll feel much better. You feel like pimping and everything.
You brought it full circle back to the beginning of the show. But yeah, Game and Jadakiss.
I get the argument. Joe Budden podcast. Shout out to the Joe Budden podcast. They had a
let's say where it started though. Where it originated from.
It started with Whack 100.
Okay.
Whack 100 was saying that
the
game was better than Jadakiss.
Okay.
And he was actually standing up for the game. He was saying the game is better than Jadakiss. I think he was talking about the LA list as well, if I'm not mistaken, in that same interview.
That's correct.
And on the surface, when I first heard it, I was like, nah. But then when you start going back to that discography piece, and you start going back to the potency of that discography piece, if you're checking boxes right now, the game has a much better discography than Kiss.
He does.
Do we agree with that or not? Right?
Absolutely.
100%.
Not even conversation. Game as a top 10 catalog, arguably.
Yes. Kiss is a better rapper.
Correct.
That too is not a conversation.
That gap is not as large, positive as we may think it is on the surface.
May I submit something to you respectfully?
Yeah.
And this is from somebody who weighs catalog heavily. Oh, well, you can't win the catalog game and lose every other goddamn category, though.
It's tough. It holds too much weight. It holds a lot of weight.
But let's not leave the catalog category either, though, because what people get confused on when you say catalog, you're just like, okay, that's
Solo
just their albums.
Right.
Game has better albums than Jadakiss. That's not a secret. But one thing about Game is a very collaborative artist, but most of the people he collaborates with, he has on his albums helping him out. Game is not a highly featured artist. So if we're talking about the vastness of somebody's catalog, we got to include the features as well. So if you look at all the classic feature verses and records that Jada has been a part of, is that catalog category really something that easily goes to Game? Because I don't think so.
Okay, maybe not as easy as you think. And okay, so we're about to have this conversation again. This is where not having that undisputed rap classic hurts Jada.
It does hurt because it's weighted so much.
Because if he were to have that, I would tell you that if somebody was a fan of the game, the best that they could hope for in that situation would be a draw if Kiss had that classic like that. And let me contextualize the classic. I don't mean it gotta be Doggy Style Illmatic level. It don't even got to be infamous. It's dark as hell is hot. Get rich or die trying level.
Right. Because the documentary is not those, you know.
Right. No, literally, Moment of Truth, the documentary, Me Against the World, like something in that realm of a classic album where it's like, man, it ain't the best shit I ever heard, but all these records are great. This is the best product from this artist. I really feel like I know who this artist is because of this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
when you listen to Moment of Truth, isn't that the first time you feel like you know Guru? Like, you don't really know who Guru is before Moment of Truth. It's like, you know what
Kind
he
of fair,
stands for,
yeah.
but you don't know who he is. Like, you feel like
Yeah.
you know the person when you walk away from that. Classic albums usually have you feeling walking away. Like, you usually walk away from a classic rap album feeling like you either know the person or the world that they live in, and it's usually both.
Right.
And
But
Kiss
my
hasn't
thing
had
is,
that moment. Like, that's why Doggy Style is so special. It's like, this is one gangsta ass world that you have created that sounds really, really great.
but that classic album is like, if we're talking about taking a class and a certain exam or something is weighted the highest, granted, that might be the most weighted thing that a rapper can have above all else is the classic albums. But if I'm presenting to you their catalog in their entirety, Coop, you just said at the top of the show, Meth might be the king of the 16 bars. He don't have an undisputed classic either. He does as a group member, but not as a solo artist. And then, like, if I were to ask you, what's your favorite Game feature verse where he steals the show? It's hard pressed to name that versus you got a litany of verses to pull from Jadakiss. You know what I'm saying? So catalog is more of an all encompassing conversation than what people want to make it. It ain't just about
right. It's not just
the
about the
album.
album. I get what you're saying. So you're saying that all of these remarkable Jadakiss verse contributions make up for some of the album dilapidation, is essentially what you're saying.
In comparison with Game, yes. But in comparison with somebody who has just as many dope features that he has, then it doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? We talk about Nas's great feature one.
Pacers just came back and won.
The Pacers are up 111, 110 with 0.3 seconds left.
Yeah, I was telling somebody today, usually the people, it still might be a gentleman sweeper. And I was telling somebody at work today that usually the team that gets the most rest going into game one loses game one. That's a proven fact. Like, you know what I'm saying? The team who gets the most rest, like, usually loses game one. But
I didn't mean to cut you off. It's just the NBA Finals.
What the hell?
Yeah, for sure. But shout out to Indiana. But yeah, so that argument that I'm giving for Jadakiss doesn't work against somebody like, you know, a Method Man or Nas or Jay, who has all the dope featured verses that he has as well. But whereas Game doesn't have those feature verses that Kiss has, then you could argue, yeah, Game has the album aspect of the catalog, but when it comes to impactful verses, the inverse, Jadakiss might offset that a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm going to tell you something. Here's why Jadakiss would still lose that. And in this, I'm going to unpack a little bit of what makes the album so important. The album enables you to unpack so many things that a mixtape or a 16 bar guest appearance does not. It enables you, first of all, to gain notoriety via the singles and the sales. And so Game is notarized for that. He has,
and to give a fan all of you, you know.
I was going to get to that in a second. I was going to start more from the business aspect side of it, where it's like, well, the album gives you the chance to be notarized monetarily and sales wise, and Game accomplishment wise has exceeded Jadakiss in that, being around almost 8 years after, so he did much more, much faster. That is some of about the team that he was put with. But listen to what I'm about to say. Well, Jadakiss was put with a similar team. It's like, well, you got blessed with Puff. You got blessed with Dr. Dre.
Mm-hmm.
The way that y'all shit sound without Puff, it do not sound like y'all was with Puff. I don't mean that in a good way. The way Game shit sound without Dr. Dre sound like the nigga used to be with Dr. Dre, and I mean it in a good way.
It got better. To me, Doctor's Advocate is better than the documentary, but I digress.
No.
I like it better.
No.
It can be, but I'm saying all of that to say that, oh no, what Game has shown you as an artist through those albums, the ups, the downs, the pitfalls, the record sales, the trials, the tribulations. Listen to what I'm about to say. You have an attachment to game that you don't have to Jadakiss because of the quality of the product that he's put his heart and soul into. You know Game better than you know Kiss. You don't want to admit it. You know Game and who Game is
from a personality standpoint,
right? And it's so there's a connectivity to that happens when you make dope shit on your album. When you just spit a dope 16, we look at it like it's some sports shit. Like, ooh, that was a pretty slam dunk. That ain't the same as bringing home the glory or winning a playoff series. Having great albums is like winning playoff series, like winning championships, going to the finals.
It's a tip.
Yeah, them 16 bars, that's just a regular season game. When you got 40 points, my G, you're all-star and an all-NBA player. You better be getting 40 points sometime out here, my nigga. What the fuck we doing? So I don't give Jadakiss credit like everybody else do because it's like, oh, so let me get this straight. First of all, when I was in high school, niggas told me that you was the next Nas. I was told through people that work for Bad Boy that you were the guy more than anybody else Big wanted to do songs with of all the new artists that he had heard. Motherfucker, you better be out here sounding like this on these 16 bars. Like you did what was asked of you. You didn't do no extra shit. People be walking around like Kiss did extra shit. No, he didn't. Niggas called him the next Nas and Big wanted to do songs with him.
I never heard the next Nas thing.
Yes,
never heard that.
When I was in Charlotte in high school, there was niggas walking around talking like he was the next Nas, as in like the next bar seminar king is coming from this guy. And so like as far as I am concerned, Game has exceeded expectation and Kiss has not lived up to them. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Kiss is supposed to be in a clear conversation with Jay, Big, and Nas. You understand that, right? It's supposed to be a clear conversation.
Right.
It ain't supposed to be on no mixtape or on some 16 bars shit.
And to that point, real quick, not to cut you off, but to that point, like in my top 5 list, I'll admit is my bias because exactly what you just said. I've heard, and Sean said this earlier, he's rapped beside these giants. So what my ear tells me, based off potential, that's where he belongs, even if he didn't put himself there with what he did with his discography. Like, so that's my bias pick within my top 10 because I'm basing it off that potential factor. Like, no, based on talent, I know that's where he belongs. That's his ceiling. You know what I'm saying?
So here's the conversation, and this is just respectfully. Understand this. So, Nas has Illmatic. Jay has Reasonable Doubt.
And then some, both of them.
No. Big has, I'm just talking about debuts. Big has Ready to Die. DMX has It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Now, reference point. This guy in 1998 is on DMX's second album. That is Jay at his peak. That is DMX at his peak. Oh, he blistered them niggas on Blackout.
I wouldn't say blistered, but I get what you're saying.
Jay verse ain't like that. Next verse ain't like that. They not better than Kiss on that record. He blistered them. It got rhyming.
He has the best verse, but I wouldn't say blistered though. That's
Jay verse and X verse ain't like that. Niggas don't be quoting Jay and X verse from that song.
X verse is too short.
And Jay verse not that memorable. Ghetto nigga putting up Will Smith numbers. Like, it's not that hard. It's not.
I don't like the Jay verse.
It wasn't that good at that time.
The Jay
of course you're going to say it's not that good, Sean. You hate Jay.
Hold on. The thing with... Hold on. The Jay delivery is hard on there because Jay found a different pocket on the drop of the beat. So he's rhyming to the drop, not to the top. And so, like, no. Nice pull off because it's hard to rhyme to the drop. Most niggas can't drop they bar with the fucking drop in the fucking bass. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But no, Kiss on some rhyme shit blistered them niggas. I used to have bad luck. Now you might see me in a Jag truck, man. Either double. And I see he's killing them niggas on there.
He was going crazy.
I'm saying that to say that's him in 1998, guys. That's somebody like that Jay-Z DMX run. That's some of the best shit we've ever seen from artists. That guy is capable of showing those guys up. So this is a fall short thing. Because we should be talking about your shit the way we talk about their shit, and we don't do that.
Yeah, Kiss the Game just fell short of the lofty expectations it was supposed to have. But it's still all-time great stuff on there, but it didn't come together as a classic.
See, that's the difference between you and me. I don't think there's all time great stuff on there, and that's why I give Game the edge clearly, because there's not all time great stuff on Kiss the Game Goodbye. I mean,
You
there's
don't
great
think
stuff.
you don't think we're gonna make it as all time great?
Define all time great.
One of the best rap songs there is, lexicon of rap. I think that's one of the best rap songs ever.
No, I don't feel that way about that song, unfortunately.
We disagree on that.
Here's how I say.
I feel like at the time, because of the beat is more of a moment than the record, because at the time there was an argument whether it was the best beat of all time. The beat wasn't the talk about the record was about Ras Kass.
The bathtubs lift up the walls, do a 360. We got the shit that the government got. Come on, Coop. Like,
yeah, it's up there.
No,
it's up there.
No, I'm just telling you, it's more of a timepiece record than an all-time classic record to me. So I look at it more like the reason that KRS sometimes
it's one of those though. It's one of those.
I don't know if it's up there with best rap songs ever though. It's not that to me.
If we're making a list of 100 best rap songs, that's making the list, bro.
It is up there.
How about this? If it makes the list, it's somewhere between 75 and 100. I'm sorry, like it's not high. I can name a lot of songs better than that record. That's what I'm saying. Like if that's his peak, that's not good enough. There are about 5 records on It's Dark and Hell is Hot better than that.
Does Game have a song better? Does Game have a song better than We Gonna Make It? Would you say Hate It or Love It is better?
No, I think most of the documentary is better than We Gonna Make It. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know.
And Doctor's Advocate. There's shit on Doctor's Advocate and documentaries. Like, yeah, I feel that way. I like Put You on the Game just as much as I like We Gonna Make It. Church.
No, you're not allowed to like Put You on Game, man. No, hold on. Put You on Game is Timbaland. I was about to go crazy because I thought that was the Just record. And you got Church for Thugs.
Church for Thugs might be my favorite Just Blaze beat.
You're not allowed to say that. You just got through hating on Just. You're not allowed to say that.
I'm not hating on Just. I'm saying Church for Thugs might be my favorite Just Blaze beat. Don't Worry with Mary. Like Father Like Son.
Like number one Just Blaze beat.
Love It. How We Do. Yeah, for me, I love
that beat's hard, but I mean that's surprising because that's one that's not brought up often. I'm just saying, like that's because surprising.
People hate on Game and forget that Church for Thugs is a Just Blaze beat.
That beat goes crazy though.
It does go crazy.
When the volume turns down and he comes back up.
You can turn it down. Fuck it. We can shoot a video and I'll spend half the budget. I'm gangster.
That shit crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy.
That's crazy. I just feel like for what people told me Kiss was gonna be, like Kiss the Game Goodbye is not that. We gonna like. I just no. Not.
But I think that's a. I love Kiss. But I think that's the sad part about the part of hip hop that we leave out so much, Cool and AG, because Kiss had like lofty goals to make. He's rhyming alongside Big. He's ghostwriting for Puff. He's ghostwriting for the Bad Boy Camp along with Mace. There's a lot going on with Kiss in his career. Because you guys think about it, the Lox, they came in as a group. There wasn't a clear separation in the very beginning. There was not a clear separation. It wasn't like you said it was Kiss and then it was Sheik and Styles behind. Sheik was just right there with Kiss and Styles on that.
Sheik was my favorite when they first came out on Bad Boy.
He was a lot of people's favorite because Sheik was spitting crazy on that first album.
Sheik is actually the scene stealer on the first album. Sheik is a scene stealer on the first album.
He's on a lot of joints.
He's the personality of the three.
Big time.
Yes. Kiss had the cachet and he had some more backing behind him because I think he had the overall. I think he had the look. He had that.
And you could hear Kiss's capabilities. You're like he would say some stuff sometimes, and you'd be like, "Ooh, like come on."
But to your point, Cool, Big singled out Jadakiss, like
correct
because Kiss kind of checked those boxes.
Because this is around the time where guess what? Voice got to check the box. Bar work got to check the box. Delivery got. Like he checked the rapper boxes. So Biggs probably listened to him. It's like that guy check all the rapper boxes.
This may sound crazy, but Kiss was the closest thing aesthetic wise to Mace at that time. And Mace was on fire for Bad Boy.
I think they wanted to make Kiss into Mace, and that's when you found out, well, niggas from Yonkers don't do that shit. Niggas from Harlem will. All right.
Right. Right.
Right.
It was more because he
Like
flipped that.
Mace told you, but Mace told niggas, you know, I was murdered. P. Diddy made me pretty. Did it for the money. Now can you get with me? Them
Those bars didn't age good.
Shit.
Yeah. Because I didn't know until yesterday when Cam was saying that Mace wrote half of Foxy on Lil Kim's first album. He picked half of that hardcore album.
I've heard that before. Yeah.
I've never heard that. Never heard that.
I can see some of the cadence. I can see that.
Yeah. So if you got that in the stable, and he's the standard because he's about to sell crazy records, and he's right behind Big. Big, yeah.
People understand Mace did more numbers than Big.
Bro, Mace was out. He was on fire.
I also heard another story that Mace wrote on Big's Only You verse because that was Mace's audition.
I've heard that story too.
You heard what?
Mace's audition to get signed. Big was like, "All right, I'll jump on a track and rap with you if you write me a fire verse." And he wrote not only his verse but Big's verse for Only You. Jesus, the notorious, just Jesus with your lyrical thesis. Like the Mace wrote that.
Yeah, I heard that.
At least that's what how the story goes.
He never came out and confirm or deny, but I've heard that back then too.
No, that's big. I don't believe that. No, I don't believe that.
I
don't believe that. I'm listening.
That's legend has it.
That's the story.
That was his Bad Boy audition. That's what legend has it.
Like, how about this? If Mace did write that, Big is so fucking exceedingly great because that sounds like Big. Because I'm thinking about like just
he's making it his own,
right? Like that's because there are no traces of Mace in that verse really.
But great people do that because I think even though Jay-Z wrote Still DRE, I think Dre made that his own. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't love that record the way everybody else do, but I hear you.
I don't like Jay's ghost writing on that one.
You don't like it? I think it's brilliant to be able to speak from a West Coast niggas like mine and stuff, and to come up with the Snoop hook. Like, give Jay his man. You gotta give Jay his credit on some point on this show, Sean. Like, it's gotta happen at some point.
He gets credit from all of y'all. Why does he need it from me?
Y'all share the same name.
Jesus, we just chilling.
It's spelled the same.
Silk and pure linen.
Like, it's not yours is not spelled SEAN. It's SHAWN.
I love the sea breeze on peace.
And you sometimes go by Sean J, and his name is Jay. Like,
Mace does not say stuff like "Cat Stay Pablo" and "Milked Out Diablos." The williest niggas be the silliest. The more I smoke, the smaller the Philly gets. No, that's Big. Mace don't.
I'm not saying it's true or not. That's just a story I heard.
Mace don't talk like that.
But real quick, let me ask both of y'all this. Is Jadakiss's legacy majorly hurt if the verses never happens?
Yes.
Sean?
I think the verses helped his. I think it would have been the same, but the verses really gave him a different booster pack.
I feel like everybody was late to the party because I was a huge Jadakiss fan before that. And then when that happened, it's like everybody was like, Jadakiss, like, yo, he's dope. Like, I was like,
he's done too.
How about this?
Fabulous.
How about this? Here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I'll tell you, AG.
That's fact.
You want to know what Him in the Garden was for me? That was a guy that knew he kind of missed a lot of key moments, and there was no way in hell he was about to miss this one. Like, he done missed some key moments. He's missed it before. Like, that's what I mean is like the greats usually have an intuition. He hadn't had the intuition, but I can't front. One of the most memorable times that I've had in the time that I've been doing this podcast was when I was watching that shit and he said, "Yo, Tech, let's make something happen." And that beat drop, I got chills up my spine. I said, "Oh shit, he fucking gets it. This is about to be his moment." And he took it and he ran with it, and kudos to him. Because really, what he did in that moment is what we've been expecting him to do since about 2000. Like, we've been expecting that since 2000.
And it was lightning in a bottle, and it was a mixtape freestyle that had been out for years, but it's just like it was just lightning in a bottle.
And you want to know what I think it was? I think it kind of made him comfortable with like semi-retiring. Like, it was kind of like like it was kind of like, okay, like no matter how you feel, I'm in the conversation now.
Yeah. And to Sean's point, he was 2-2 in the verses because he watched Fabulous while he was drunk.
It showed you how different he was. Honestly,
he was lit.
People thought that Fab was going to get Jada.
First of all,
yeah,
I tried. First of all, on the podcast in The Worst Life, long time ago, I tried to tell people. I said they did what? You could go look at the tape. Try not to get them niggas views, but you can go look at the tape. And I was literally like, I said, they doing what?
Yo.
I said, Fab doing what with who? I said, he about to. I literally said live on air as soon as I heard. I said, Jada about to kill this motherfucker. And people was like, "Oh no, Coop, you crazy, you tripping." I said, "Do you know how much shit Jada got in the can for Fab?" I said, "Jada do what Fab do." I said, "For he's done it at a higher level, longer and bigger." I'm like, "You better."
They thought all those girl records was gonna be it, you know.
Yo, fellas,
what up? What up?
We might have something coming up. They say Kendrick might be dropping something tonight.
Okay.
Yo, if he dropped on the Carter 6 Waves night, that's gonna be diabolical. Yo, if he stole, I ain't gonna front.
Hold on.
I ain't gonna front. That's gonna be funny if he did.
If he steals Wayne's Thunder tonight.
No, they say it might. From what it looks like, I don't want to misquote any bad information right now, but apparently Academics is on the end of his streaming saying hi Kendrick, as opposed to sound like Drake might be saying something on this Wayne album.
Yeah, he's got a feature on there.
But Kendrick is already locked and loaded. So we might be back tomorrow, part 2.
Listen, man. Yo, if he got the Super Bowl in New Orleans, and if he drops something when Wayne dropped the Carter 6, I ain't gonna front. That's gonna be funny.
Yo.
Diabolical, man. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Not saying that your source is wrong, but
yeah, there's a lot coming through. I got to catch up, but there's a lot coming through.
We about to wrap anyway, though, right?
Yeah. Yo. Yeah. It's a lot coming through, fellas. Shit. Wow. Yeah. Let's wrap. Let's wrap.
This Drake feature, I'm interested to see what he says.
Yeah. Yo, tell Art to chill out. Art talking about Silk the Shocker, co-wrote the Chronic. Yo, chill out, Art.
Okay.
I'm going too far.
Now, if we making a top 100 worst rappers list,
and to circle the conversation back around, there go that Angel Dust again, popping back up at the end of the show. See how Angel Dust came back in? See how Angel Dust came back in the show too?
Oh, man. I'm messing with the Angel Dust. Yo, we appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Good night, chat. Y'all might see us tomorrow. You might see us in a couple of hours. Yo,
Art by nobody. Methamphetamines are not good for you.
Yeah, leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
LP. I know LP probably high right now too.
They off the Chronic. They off the Chronic.
LP probably blitz right now. Yo, appreciate y'all tonight, Esquire. Duce, Art, LP, all of y'all. Thank you for tonight, for popping up. Chat was live. Hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. Michael Brown, we appreciate you too, bro. Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Check the notifications. We apologize for those of you who didn't get the notifications on time. YouTube is doing some funny things, so we're looking into that. Make sure you guys get the notifications at the right time. And be on the lookout. We may drop a surprise bomb tomorrow. Just depends on how this thing goes tonight. So just be on the lookout for the notifications.
Real quick, this weekend, my best friend Pebbles turns 50. Shout out to the big homie, my OG, my road dog. Shout out Pebs, 50.
Wow. Happy birthday.
Yep.
We appreciate y'all for pulling up same time as the NBA Finals. If y'all rock with us or watch the game on mute and listen to us kick it, then that doesn't get lost on nothing. We appreciate y'all for real. So
for real.
Yeah.
We out. Peace.
Peace.